Tonight on the all-night drive-in picture show.
Ninja! I told you I was ready to talk! Oh! Mr. Parker! I want my Black Ninja and I want him now!
Then,
Hey, I gave those guys 100 big ones up front.
They want the rest of the money today in cash. Now, what am I supposed to tell them?
About, Abavangu. Wish.
and now here are your projectionists, like Siskel and Ebert with a past, Ryan Mason and Charles Wood.
Welcome to the all-night drive-in picture show. I'm Ryan. That's Charles.
Hi.
Let's go.
Attention patrons. The movies discussed on this podcast will be spoiled from start to finish. If you wish to experience these cinematic gems visually, please do so before continuing with this episode. We will be right here when you return. Thank you and have a pleasant evening.
And now, please enjoy our featured presentation.
Our first feature is basically a western with backflips, throwing stars, and swordplay. This is Enter the Ninja.
The first martial art to sweep the modern world was jiu-jitsu, closely followed by the discipline of karate. Then we were taught to combine the spiritual with the physical by the masters of kung fu. And now, the Cannon Group is proud to introduce the practitioner of the oldest and ultimate martial art, the ninja. Enter the Ninja. Starring Franco Nero. Exploding into action as Cole, the White Ninja.
Give him a message for me.
Yeah?
I don't like to be followed.
Susan George is the proud and beautiful Mary Ann, a strong-willed woman who knows what she wants and just how to get it. And introducing Sho Kosugi, Hasegawa, the Black Ninja, born of samurai blood, is unable to accept anything but the ancient ways. Bitter and merciless, this rogue ninja will stop at nothing to destroy any and all who cross his path. Ninja, hired assassins, trained killers, masters of the most deadly art known to man. If you take on a ninja, no matter how many you are, be prepared for the consequences. Enter the Ninja from Canon.
We open on a ninja clad in black against a black background. As the opening credits roll, he shows his proficiency with various weapons, including swords, nunchucks, sai, and a bow. At the final credit, this black-clad ninja is empty-handed, but in a fighting stance. He turns to his left as a ninja clad in white vaults into the frame with a flying sidekick that knocks the black ninja out of frame. One could say he knocked him out.
He didn't touch him.
Right, Sho Kosugi is doing his impressive ninja shit here until Nero or whoever's behind the mask just completely misses him with a flying kick to the face by a good 6 inches.
I think it's Mike Stone behind in the white ninja outfit.
Okay.
He was the original star of the movie, but he wasn't good as an actor. So they got a hold of Franco Nero, who was at, I think, a film festival in the Philippines. And so they just got him.
He wasn't good as opposed to everyone else in this movie.
Well, it's a Cannon Group film. What do you expect?
Then we're in a clearing on a high hill overlooking a wooded river valley. We settle on a ninja clad in white as we see that he is actually not only dressed in white, that sumbitch is white. Across the clearing from him is a black ninja. They stare each other down and the black ninja yells a couple of commands in Japanese, and then the chase is on. The white ninja runs through the woods with a band of red ninjas on his trail led by the black ninja. What follows is a series of poorly edited scenes where the white ninja outsmarts his pursuers, seemingly killing some of them, and throwing smoke bombs and flips from trees for no apparent reason. Where do the ninjas hide their knives and throwing stars and smoke bombs and nunchucks anyway? I mean, they have to remain agile, yet they carry enough shit that they should have a tool belt.
Yeah, well, I think that they have pockets and stuff in their gis. My thing with...
Deep pockets.
yeah. I mean, my thing with this scene is I'm watching this and I say, if you're not in a snowy climate, why are you wearing white?
Yeah.
If you're supposed to be invisible. And where in the hell, except for maybe the Black Lodge in Twin Peaks, is a red ninja outfit useful?
Right.
Like, I understand. Yeah, I understand that they're doing all this to try to make all these people seem different. Even though if you look at the eyes on the red ninja in different scenes, when the black ninja is not present, Shokosugi is like multiple of those ninjas.
Yeah.
Like he's there multiple times.
Couldn't afford to hire multiple martial artists, I guess.
No. Well, why would they?
Yeah.
You know.
It's just a martial arts movie.
It's sound strategy on one level because you have a guy who is proficient, who does actually practice ninjutsu in every scene then.
Yeah.
And you have him under a mask. And to me, he and Christopher George, who comes up later, are by far the best parts of this movie.
Yeah.
But Shokosugi is not really an actor. He's an energy, but he's not an actor.
Right.
So,
finally, the white and black ninja clash in a brief sword fight in a stream before the white ninja leaps off a waterfall to escape. I repeat, leaps off a waterfall.
Yeah.
And of course, the black ninja jumps right after him. The white ninja swims to the bank and runs away, leaving the black ninja dog paddling to land.
Okay. So there are a few things that, I mean, we talked a little bit, but there are a few things to break down in this sequence.
A couple standout moments, yeah.
So the black ninja, at one point, he's walking through the forest, jungle, whatever you want to call it, and he points as if he sees something, and then he throws these two throwing stars, these shurikens, and the shurikens bury themselves into a tree trunk, and then he runs, but when you see him running then in the very next scene, he's carrying nunchucks.
Yeah.
And the white ninja's like way around the corner in this forest. There's no way he could have seen him. Like the logistics don't work. And then when he has the nunchucks, he like comes running into the clearing, swishing the nunchucks back and forth like he's in the Mr. Universe contest or something. Like it's almost like he's the marshal of the ninja parade or something.
Right.
Really, really weird. The arrow catching scene is cool, but
highly illogical.
Well, it just like appears out of nowhere.
Right.
Like they clash a little bit. And then it's a totally different scene, and the white ninja is shooting the arrows at him, and he is very respectful in that, like, he shoots the arrow, and then he waits, and then he shoots another arrow.
Yeah.
You know?
No need to rapid fire anyway, you know?
Yeah, I mean, why do that?
Yeah.
We'll see this in our next film, and it's even more egregious.
I can't
There's
wait.
an arrow-catching scene that is even more egregious that we'll talk about. The other thing I thought in the sequence was the amazing color-changing arrow.
Yeah.
So at one point, the white ninja aims his arrow at this red ninja, and you can see that the arrow is white.
Yeah.
It's plainly white. And yet when it hits the tree trunk, it's brown. It's brown, and the head of it is like a slate gray. And the other thing I don't understand is that the white ninja, seemingly the red ninja did not see him, because when the arrow hits the tree trunk right in front of the red ninja's face, he's like, whoa, what? So obviously this guy did not see the white ninja. And so the ninja, according to ninja principles, called out his presence, right? Like the art of invisibility by being completely visible. And this white ninja also has no problem killing most of the red ninjas, and yet he has a couple of instances where he can kill this black ninja, and he just doesn't do it.
Right.
In fact, he jumps off a waterfall instead of killing the black ninja.
There are many moments in this movie where the white ninja has the bad guy dead to rights and doesn't kill him.
And it's because he's honorable. And I'm just kind of
especially one particular scene at the end of the movie that is, I was just like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
But this whole movie's you got to be kidding me. So Then we're at a tranquil Japanese compound with red ninja guards patrolling. The white ninja evades the first four by swimming under the bridge they're strolling along, but he gets caught closer to the compound where a road master figure named Komori, played by Dale Ishimoto, patiently waits on a patio. After some swordplay and smoke bombs, the white ninja comes bouncing over the hedges onto the lawn fighting with the black ninja. He gets the black ninja down and gives him a quick choice.
Surrender or die. Surrender!
Surrender or die. Surrender! I know a lot of lines in this movie, dude.
Yeah,
I could probably just do the audio.
Maybe that would be better.
Yeah, well.
Then the white ninja proceeds to the patio where he bows to Komori before lopping the old master's head off.
Now, I gotta say, as a little kid like that was shocking to me.
Yeah.
You know, he bows to him and then, oh, wait a minute.
Well, the next scene is even more shocking, so we'll get there.
Yeah.
Inside, he sneaks into what seems to be a training room where he bows and kneels and removes his mask. He is indeed a white man. This is Cole, played by Franco Nero. He is soon joined by all the red ninja that he killed. They all remove their mask and protective gear that only made them appear to die. Apparently, it was all one big combat test. The black ninja enters and removes his mask as well. This is Hasegawa, played by Shokasugi, and he is sour-pussed and furious. Finally, the recently beheaded Komori enters carrying a wax likeness of his own head and takes his place at the head of the room on a small platform. After the ritual test involving Cole's knowledge of the 9 levels of power, he is declared a full-fledged ninja and given a license.
He's given a license on a scroll.
Before we go to the scroll, the beheading scene is puzzling to say the least.
Yeah.
At what point does a living, breathing man that we see in front of us swap out with a wax dummy in front of Cole?
So, somewhere from beyond the grave, Menahem Golan is saying, hold my beer. Because in Revenge of the Ninja, there's something similar, and it's worse.
Oh, boy.
Son, it's worse. I mean, you think these ninjas need deep pockets for shurikens and swords and shit. Wait till Revenge of the Ninja.
Oh.
That's off the chain.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
I'm just sad because we went back and forth on whether to cover Enter the Ninja or Ninja 3, The Domination.
Yeah.
And Ninja 3, The Domination is way beyond. I think it doesn't even belong with these other two. It's like way beyond. These two, I think, they're funny and everything.
Yeah.
Ninja 3 takes it to a whole nother level. But there are a few things in Revenge of the Ninja I'm just kind of like, well, okay. We can talk about that,
Right.
But
onto the scroll.
Yeah, a license on a scroll. Now, this isn't a license that, like, if you get pulled over by the ninja cops, you're going to be able to just, like, pull. You're going to have to carry a bag for this thing.
But he is a certified card-carrying ninja.
He's a scroll-carrying ninja. And this scroll is, like, what? Like a foot long? Like a foot long.
Looks like it's made out of crepe paper.
A foot tall.
Yeah.
It's got 2 big sticks on it. You know what a scroll looks like.
Sure.
And I just like, what? You can't even frame this thing. Like, how are you going to have your ninja office all set up if you can't frame your scroll?
Hang it on hooks or something.
I guess so. Kind of like one of those macrame things.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Later, all of the ninja and Komori sit around the table outside and drink to Cole's achievements, all except Hasegawa, who is vocal in his displeasure.
You did not drink, Hasegawa.
He is no ninja.
He has earned the right, Hasegawa.
No!
You are not to say anything more.
Let him speak, Master Komori.
My ancestors were samurai from Iga. I come from great warrior family.
Cole has come all the way from overseas to study with us. He has mastered ninjutsu. He is a ninja.
He is no ninja.
Also, they all just did shots, and when Hasegawa slams his fist on the table, several of the cups fall over and liquid spills out.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, they did a shot in unison,
they're
so
ninja, and they do it in moderation, so it's half a shot.
Bunch of teetotalers there. They're just acting like they were drinking, I guess.
Well, you know something, though? Like, there is something here in Hasegawa's speech, because, yeah, there is kind of like a racist or xenophobic element of this Japanese man against this white man. However, if you watch the rest of this movie is pretty much a couple of white dudes fighting over land that they took from people and are exploiting people who work on it. So
that's the white man's way.
So the thing about it is that, in a sense, the thing about this movie that makes me not just outright hate Hasegawa like I think I'm supposed to is that he's right.
Yeah.
Like this dude comes rocking in and gets a ninja license and Hasegawa's like, what the hell, man? Like, what, my chopped liver?
It's kind of our thing.
Yeah, that's our thing. Like, that's something that I've studied since I was a child. This dude rocks in and can, like, he doesn't kill when he has a chance. So I don't know how he passed that part of the test. That feels fixed.
Yeah.
He jumps off of waterfalls. He makes his presence known when he's trying to be invisible. Like, he's wearing white. Obviously, we have a few problems that this kid needs to, like, iron out before he can be really a full-fledged scroll-carrying ninja.
No kidding.
That's my issue. That's me speaking for Hasegawa. A white man speaking for a Japanese man.
You are progressive.
There are so many levels of racism going on in this movie. Oh.
The next day, Komori warns Cole about the dangers of going wrong like Hasegawa and then sends him on his way.
I do like the context that Komori offers here where he says, in another time, Hasegawa would be a great warrior. Mm-hmm. But he feels basically kind of emasculated by Cole coming in and just saying, oh yeah, ninja thing. I've been here for like 2 years. This is amazing. Walking out,
Right.
So I do like that context though.
Yeah.
That this is an ancient thing. And again, that kind of does speak to the idea of white man coming in and stealing something, stealing a little bit of culture.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
Cole flies to Manila and goes to the plantation estate of his old war buddy Frank Landers, played by Alex Courtney. Cole hops the gate and is greeted by a shotgun-toting Mary Ann, played by Susan George. She is Frank's wife, and she did not know Cole was coming to visit. Cole, at this point, also, I should point out, he knocks the gun out of her hand and spins her around, grabbing her from behind, and blatantly gropes her breast.
Yeah.
Like, just a handful. And
yeah.
I'm thinking, okay.
And then he, kicks her in the ass and knocks her over.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, it's real.
Disarming her would have been enough, Cole.
Yeah. You have to grope her and kick her in the ass and humiliate her.
Again, something else I don't think is in the Ninja Credo. I don't think there's the groping style.
Yeah.
Yeah,
way to humiliate someone that's protecting their own stolen property.
Right. Exactly. A blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman with a shotgun.
That's right.
Protecting her plantation.
Later, they have a tense dinner where Cole apologizes for hurting Marianne when he disarmed her earlier. This cracks me up. Cole claims that he doesn't drink, yet he just did a shot of sake with the ninjas in the previous scene, and then Marianne pours him a glass of wine at the end of this dinner scene.
Well, it's liqueur now because it's good for the digestion.
Oh, is that right?
And she has to talk him into it.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole thing. I'm trying to explain stuff for this guy. I'm pissed off at Cole at this point because he's apologizing for hurting her. Her wrist is bruised.
Yeah.
All to hell.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Sorry, I nearly broke your arm.
Yeah. And groped you.
Yeah.
And then kicked you in the ass after you were already disarmed.
Right.
Because I felt threatened.
Causing you to face plant onto the ground.
And he should also apologize for wearing a white denim jean jacket and white jeans.
Maybe he should also apologize to Frank for accosting his wife like that.
Yeah, he probably should. Well, Frank's too drunk. He doesn't care.
Well, if I recall correctly, Frank was standing up on the balcony watching and laughing about the whole thing.
That's true.
Great guy.
Well, he was probably too drunk to actually find the stairway to get downstairs.
I mean, any normal man would say, "Hey, that's my wife, asshole." And
yeah.
Then,
But he's his old war buddy, man.
That's right.
They touch tubes in Angola, so.
Oh, boy. Then Cole and Frank take a walk in the huge plantation courtyard. Frank tells Cole that a mysterious they want to force he and Marianne to sell their land, but he doesn't want to because Marianne loves the joint. It's her whole life. But just as Cole asks who they are, we cut abruptly to the workers' area of the estate. It's all grass huts and dirt. These are the people who do the real labor that keeps Frank in the money and drunk all day. Cole and Frank stroll up in straw hats, and a worker named Pee-wee, played by Leo Martinez, greets them and, of course, sets up an impromptu cockfight for the house guest, because that's what you do.
That's how that works, man. It's just
hey, we have guests. Let's get a cockfight going.
It's just like our Thanksgiving.
That's right.
You know, whichever turkey loses is the one we eat. I mean, that's just...
Oh, man.
And the other thing, too, before we go on.
Yeah.
So what the hell with the cut? Cole asks who they are, which as a viewer, I'm thinking, yeah, I want to know that. I remember even as a kid thinking, I want to know that. And then they cut, and Pee-wee's like, dude, let's have a cockfight. And everybody's like, yeah, you know.
Who are they? Yeah, we'll find out later.
Yeah, we'll just talk about it later on. Don't worry about it.
I mean, he knows. Why would he just go ahead and tell him right there on the spot anyway?
The thing is he doesn't know.
Yeah,
like
true, I guess.
He doesn't really have an idea.
Yeah.
They know that there's a representative that's stirring things up, but they don't know exactly who it is. But the thing is that that's not entirely clear at first.
Right.
You know, like he kind of comes on like he knows who it is, but then later on you realize that he doesn't. It's murky.
Yeah.
That would involve clear storytelling. So we don't want that.
Nah.
We just want people jumping around in mass and throwing shit at each other.
The next day, Cole is out by the driveway doing one of the slowest nunchuck workouts imaginable when Mary Ann drives by and asks if he wants to go to town with her. In town, she runs errands while Cole meanders around town. He watches as a short, rotund Englishman named The Hook, played by Zachy Noy, and a much taller goon roll up to a local shop owner for protection money. The Hook gets his name because he has a hook for a hand. Cole also meets another shop owner / street con named Dollars, played by Will Hare, who gives him the rundown and stops him as he tries to intervene with the shakedown. The Hook is like, as far as we know, the Brad Wesley of this town.
He's a short, one-handed, greasy, sweaty Brad Wesley.
That's right.
And
JCPenney came to town because of him.
Yeah, right. I got to get back to the Cole nunchuck workout thing.
Please. This
guy looked like he had just been given a pair of nunchucks for the first time in his life and said, hey, here, play with these for a minute.
He's like a guy filming a YouTube video that thinks he really knows what he's doing.
Well, I mean, obviously Franco Nero was not a martial artist.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that he does some of the fight scenes that you can see that he clearly does a lot of later on, like when he's not masked.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering how many times he hit himself in the stones using these nunchucks in this scene. Because he goes between his leg a couple times. And I was like, look, I remember back in the neighborhood being like a 9-10-year-old kid or even younger playing with nunchucks. And I mean, you hit yourself in the stones with those, you're going to remember it. Like, that's a whole day of production gone right there, you know?
Yeah, no kidding. I was going to hit this later on, but let's go ahead and talk about it now. So as a kid, you were a big fan of martial arts movies.
Oh, yeah.
You had the Black Belt magazines and all of that.
Yeah.
And I recall, and if I'm wrong, this was all a dream of some sort, but I recall you sending a fan letter to Shokasugi and getting a response.
Oh, yeah, I did. And he sent me a headshot. Too. I think the headshot might have been him in his outfit for that TV series, The Master, the one with Lee Van Cleef and Timothy Van Patten, which was like a silver mask. It was like a chainmail mask and really like a different kind of outfit. But yeah, I did.
Do you still have that?
I think I do. I think it's downstairs.
Okay.
Here in the projection shack, we have a little cellar.
Yeah.
So it's down there somewhere.
Where we store all of our belongings and valuables.
Yeah, right. Right. Well, and
hide Lucy's liquor stash.
Right. And we bury some valuables just out under one of the parking spaces, but we're not going to say which one.
No.
So, yeah.
Back at the plantation, Cole and Mary Ann return to find some goons beating the shit out of the workers. Cole fights them off, and the workers tell Mary Ann they've got to leave. It's too dangerous to stay. Later, Mary Ann and a few straggling young boys try to do as much work as they can as Cole flings a couple of coconuts and Frank sleeps in a hammock.
Have you ever been a farmer?
Nope.
No? Neither have I. Not till I came here. Do you know this plantation's been here for 200 years? Some of the workers, the ones that left today, they were families. They were born here. It's a great pity.
How long has Frank been like this?
The drinking? since the problem started. This place has become a haven for criminals, and it's getting worse and worse. Maybe he doesn't care anymore, but I care. I love it here. It's become my home, and nobody is going to drive us away. You see? I'm stubborn.
So I've noticed.
Here!
Some help Cole is here, right?
No shit.
He likes asking her questions. And he's like, picks up a couple coconuts, flings a couple. Then he's standing there asking her questions. I'm like, she's got a load of coconuts. Like, help her.
Yeah.
Frank's drunk in a hammock.
Yeah.
Oh, God. She's doing it all alone.
Poor thing. Cole and Frank go jogging in the town the next day, and Dollars tells him Marianne is at the town bar interviewing potential workers, because that's the best place to interview applicants is at a bar.
Yes.
She's not having any luck because the Hook, his ginger goon, and a couple other heavies are leaning against the wall, giving them the stink eye. The applicants scurry out, and the Hook tries to intimidate Marianne, Frank, and Cole, but Cole stiffly nudges the Hook's drink into his face. This brings on a fight in which Cole kicks all three goons' asses and buries the Hook into a pillar. And, of course, Cole lands a Schwarzenegger-like zinger. Hang around, I'll be back.
Oh, God. This is so terrible.
Fun.
I actually would have wanted to hear that, though, in Franco Nero's real voice.
Yeah.
With his Italian accent. Because Franco Nero is dubbed throughout this movie.
As is everyone else.
Most people are.
I think maybe Susan George's voice might be real, but...
Yeah.
Everyone else, man, it's obvious they're overdubbed.
Yeah, I don't know who dubbed Franco Nero's voice, but apparently this guy's supposed to be American, and they thought he had too much of an accent, Italian accent, so they dubbed his voice. But there are times when he has some one-liners. I'm just kind of like, oh, I'd love to hear that in Franco Nero's accent.
Hang around, I'll be back.
It's
like he's Mario or something.
And the racism continues.
That's right. That's right.
I love the duck and slap between Cole and the Hook. Like the Hook kind of swings on Cole a few times with his hook, and Cole ducks it and slaps him. And I love the way the slaps sound.
We say he's small and rotund. This is like 80s era Danny DeVito small. Like this guy is tiny.
He is. He's really small. In fact, he's so small that I don't know how Cole actually ducks the hook. It would be better just to move backwards.
He must have been on an apple box or something.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. The next day, the Hook and the Ginger Goon go to the high-rise headquarters of a power broker named Venarius, played by Christopher George. His office is situated at the end of an indoor pool that is teeming with beautiful young women. The Hook, who we find out is really named Siegfried, breaks the bad news to Venarius and his assistant, Mr. Parker, played by Constantine Gregory, that the Landers are still not willing to sell their property.
Okay, I gotta stop right here. Christopher George is amazing in this movie.
He's the best thing about it.
He is great. I think that Constantine Gregory is a close second. I love the way he and Christopher George interact with one another as Venarius and Mr. Parker.
Yeah. I like how Mr. Parker's rarely shook by anything, too. It's just, he's just cool and calm the whole time and just like, well, he killed that guy, too, I guess. All right, moving on.
Like later on when he talks to Venarius towards the end of the movie, he's like, he killed a bunch of our men back in the office, dude. Like, he just dropped a whole bunch of dudes. Like, Elliot's dead.
Or later on, where's he at? I left him outside in the car.
Yeah, I left him outside the car. Oh, of course you did.
Yeah, let me go get him for you.
Yeah. I like, though, and we'll get to this later, but at the end of the movie, towards the end of the movie, when he says that, like, he says to Venarius, he's like, he killed a few of the men back at the office. And Venarius is like, why did he kill you?
Right.
He, like, leads me to lead him here.
Yeah. I also like in this part where Venarius' overdubbing is doing some red-faced screaming, yet Venarius looks like he's simply raising his voice. I mean, this dude's like, get him!
I know. Oh, I love Christopher George, man.
Yeah, it's great. This leads to a goon scouting trip to the wharf where Venarius and Parker inspect a huge group of candidates scrounged up by Siegfried. After an altercation that involved Siegfried notching his hook into a mouthy goon's marble sack, some of the henchmen candidates wander off. Shit's getting too real for them. Mr. Parker then tells the remaining applicants to pair up and square off. The 10 guys left standing will get spots on the goon squad. I enjoy the fact that he hooks the guy in the marble sack, yet the guy never bleeds.
You know,
he's got a pointy hook. You know, it's like surely he pierced something.
The guy who gets his sack hooked is named Preacher, or he calls himself Preacher.
Yeah.
To that dude's credit, he stays.
He does.
He does stay, and he makes it on the Goon Squad because we're going to see him later on.
I'd be eager to get those pants off to inspect the damage, but he just stands there, you know, holding his nuts like, oh, all right.
Yeah,
well,
okay.
Let's hear what Venarius has to say about this.
Just put a huge fish hook in my marbles. That's cool. You know?
Yeah.
I think you just tried to crack my walnuts. That's okay.
That's right. Meanwhile, Cole and Frank are at a country club watching a polo game.
Right. Of course.
That's what rich drunks do, I guess.
Yeah.
Go to the country club watching polo. Venarius and Parker are there, too, spying on the good guys. Frank basically tells Cole that he's lost his virility and goes off for some hooch. Cole has a flashback to Angola where Frank saved his bacon. And in this flashback scene, too, it feels like it kind of defeats the purpose wearing camouflage when you're also wearing a maroon beret.
Yeah.
But I guess that whole thing lines up with the red and white ninjas, too. So
yeah, well, the ninja took the maroon thing to the nth degree because apparently you could just kind of look like a bird in a tree or something.
Apparently so. Later at the plantation, Pee-wee and the other workers return to a gushing welcome from Frank, and they say, of course, let's have a celebratory cockfight.
Right.
But this party is busted up by Siegfried and his new goons. All the workers except Pee-wee flee. Some of the goons beat up and hold down Frank while the rest tie Pee-wee to the back of a truck and drag him around through the dirt.
Oh.
That was awful. But Cole rocks up on a horse in a cootie catcher hat and beats the shit out of everybody. Then he tears off Siegfried's hook and sends him packing.
Now, the weird thing here is that it's kind of a brief glimpse, but when Siegfried's running off, it looks like his hook arm is like bloody.
Like a bloody, like flapping flesh.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
No one sewed up that stump for him?
Yeah, what's happening in the Philippines with body?
It's like the hook was attached or something.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I don't know.
Weird.
Yeah.
The thing about this whole scene, this is a pretty serious scene. You know, you get one of the good guys that gets bloodied and knocked out. You get another good guy that's being dragged by a truck. And after he tears off the hook and sends him packing, they actually do a sad trombone. Wah, wah.
I know.
It's like, what the hell?
I know.
You can't end a scene like this with a sad trombone, you dumbasses.
So weird. We have no idea if Pee-wee's alive or dead.
Right.
So weird.
That was dumb. Siegfried goes back to Venarius and asks for more men. Venarius is tired and frustrated because the synchronized swimming routine he is choreographing in his office pool is not going well, and he's sick of the Landers thing too. Siegfried's always stepping his shit on that job, so he fires Siegfried, which makes the little one-handed bastard ecstatic. He waddles away thinking Venarius is the big boss, puts Parker on the job. Back to this poolside office, he must really enjoy the smell of chlorine all day long.
And he makes all of his, his office is at one end of the pool. His staff is all along one side of the pool. They just have their little desks against the skyscraper windows.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm not sure you ever get used to the smell of chlorine, but
I don't know.
I guess if you're working for Venarius, you better.
I guess.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Back at the ranch, the Landers get an unsigned note asking for a meeting to discuss the property situation. Frank and Cole know it's a setup, but they decide to go figure out who's behind the whole thing. The note was delivered by a driver who was brought to the plantation by good old Dollars. Frank and Dollars go out to the truck and distract said driver, while Cole sneaks up and does some ninja shit and knocks the dude out. Now Cole's the driver. They get to the meeting spot at Fort Santiago. Armed guards greet them out front, and Cole and Frank knock them out.
It's just so frequent.
I know.
They're armed, and there are tons of them. There are like 3 or 4 of these guys.
And they're carrying assault rifles, and still it's just easy for these two.
Hey, buddy, come here a second. Bam! It's like,
Cole hands Dollars a gun because that's a good idea and tells him to find a good sniping spot.
Yeah, right.
Then Cole quietly takes out all of the guards inside the fort while Parker and Frank talk. Parker won't tell Frank shit about his employer or anything, only that their offer for the property is 7 figures. When Frank still refuses, Parker blows a whistle and barely a handful of guards he expected come out of the shadows. But then Cole comes walking in with the other guards' guns and lays them at Parker's feet, and Parker knows what's up. A guard with a gun tries to cover Cole and Frank from above, but Dollar blows that shitheel away. Then Cole and Frank take on the remaining 6 or 8 guards mano a mano.
I did like the scene where Parker blows the whistle and 4 or 5 guys come
Yeah.
out. He's looking around like, what happened? He sends the other guy. He sends his second to go take a look.
And it's pretty telling, too, that he expected 20 guys to come out. 6 come out, and he's still concerned, even though they've got him outnumbered.
Yeah, and he's counting on his hands.
Yeah.
He's like going 1, 2. Where are the rest of them?
Well, there's 6 guys, and there's 1 of him, so... Yeah. Man, I don't know. This doesn't look good for us.
We have assault rifles, but
yeah,
we have an old man up top covering us with an assault rifle, and we still have 6 assault rifles. I don't know. We still might be outmatched.
1 guy with an assault rifle and 6 guys with pistols. I don't know. This is dumb.
Oh, God.
Later at a bar, a busted-up Frank tells Cole that he's impotent and he just wants to get stoned out of his mind.
Hey,
Yeah. Still later, Marianne goes walking across the plantation courtyard in her nightgown and ends up in Cole's bedroom. The light goes out and some ninja shit of another kind ensues. You might know it as some dirty sex.
Oh, God. I'm so happy that's returning.
I know. Every time I say that phrase, dirty sex, I hear a $sign.
Yeah.
Hell of a friend banging your best friend's wife, right? Solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
Well, it's the ninja way.
It is. Next morning, Motormouth Frank is droning on about how great he feels when a frazzled Marianne tells him she's sick of hearing him talk. At the office, oddly at dusk, Parker breaks the news to Venarius that Cole is a ninja. Venarius demands a ninja of his own, so Parker's off to Japan. Go get me a ninja.
Yeah.
For some reason, Parker goes to a talent agent named Mr. Mitsuda, played by Juni Gamboa, to find a ninja. At first, Mitsuda tries to sell Parker on an acrobat swordsman or an actor who can ride a horse. But Parker demands a real ninja, and somehow Mitsuda hooks him up with Komori, the master from the beginning of the movie. The one with a head.
Right.
Parker lies to Komori about living in a small town that is in trouble, so Komori introduces Parker and Mitsuda to, you guessed it, Hasegawa.
So if you're going to hire a ninja, why do you go to a talent agent? Is there something in Asia that I don't understand here?
Right. I mean, I'm not sure who you would go to find a ninja. I would assume Street Tough or maybe where would you go?
So Venarius's outfit, even though they look corporate, I mean, granted, his office is in a pool, in an indoor pool, but ostensibly they're somewhat corporate outfit. They're also kind of a syndicate who's not above fisticuffs to get their way, right?
Sure.
So they don't have any connections in Asia with other syndicates because they seem very powerful, yet they have no connections to get a hold of a ninja.
Sure.
Because I'm kind of thinking that Master Komori might be kind of like, what's his name on Barry? Barry's handler, you know?
Yeah.
In which case that guy's connected, right? Or you think he's connected in some way.
Yeah.
I don't know. The guy's trying to sell you an acrobat swordsman. It would make me skeptical that he could find a real ninja.
Right.
You know? If you say, well, what if I put a chimpanzee with a sword? Can we do it?
Right.
You know, can we make this thing happen?
Yeah.
You know? I don't have a ninja, but I have a clown that does acrobatic moves. Like he does a couple of cartwheels.
Yeah.
But he can't run very fast.
No,
so,
not at all.
You know.
Yeah.
It's just so weird.
Yeah. Back in Manila, Cole is being followed by one of Venarius' henchmen. Cole gets the drop on the goon, and this dude gives up everything about Venarius. His full name and address, the whole bit. Cole goes to the high-rise and scopes it out. Meanwhile, Parker is back with Hasegawa, and they go directly from the plane to Venarius' office. The big boss asks Hasegawa when he's going to take down Cole and the gang, and Hasegawa is ready to get shit done right away. And if he fails, Hasegawa says he doesn't wish to live. Later that night, Dollars rolls up to Venarius' office building and shows some pocket porn to the guards to distract them as Cole crowds all of them into an elevator. Then he and Cole dress up in guards' outfits, which conveniently fit, and go about surveying the building. When we first meet Dollars at the beginning of the movie, he goes up to Cole and he opens up his jacket, and on one side he's got pictures of nude women, and on the other side he's got crucifixes.
Yeah, and then he tries to sell him a watch.
Yeah, tries to sell him a watch, who Cole says he probably got off of a corpse.
Yeah.
Which was a good line.
Yeah, that's a good line.
Yeah. As Cole snoops around Venarius' desk, Dollars wanders around commenting on the joint. Dude just won't shut up. Cole finds a geological report stating that there's oil under the Landers property.
Black gold.
Texas tea. Dollars turns on a movie projector, and the two men watch a film of Hasegawa stalking and murdering a guy. Apparently, the henchman jobs are plentiful and dangerous in Manila.
It's like...
And apparently, you can get a multicam shot of a guy.
Yeah.
Of a ninja killing a guy.
Well, I mean, I guess that was supposed to be real footage that was going to be in the original version of this movie, but I guess that Golan saw that and was kind of like, yeah, this sucks, so I'm just going to do it over again. I'm going to do a totally different movie.
And thank God he did, because this is a masterpiece.
It's amazing. Menem Golan is a guy who loved movies, but was not good at making them.
No.
Kind of like, I am a man who loves movies, but I am not good at writing them. So I feel a kinship with Menem Golan. So...
Back at the plantation, Hasegawa is moving in. Frank and Marianne have hired a bunch of guards. Why they didn't do that earlier is anyone's guess, but they're here now, and Hasegawa's picking them off like nothing.
He just walks in.
Frank and Marianne are having dinner and talking about how their marriage has gone to shit. Suddenly, the table lamp explodes, and Marianne grabs a shotgun from the wall and heads out into the courtyard. Frank finally comes outside, brandishing a baseball bat. Hasegawa grabs Marianne. She wriggles away, but he catches her with a goofy, evil giggle. Because that's what ninjas do. They're supposed to be silent, but when you have the opportunity, you laugh maniacally. So.
Well, I mean, this is one thing about Hasegawa. Like, I think this is probably the part of the ninja test that's really eluded him, is that he has a hard time being quiet sometimes. So, like, at the very beginning, when they're in the battle test and they're chasing Cole through the woods,
yeah,
these ninja are making noises like they're going to the big football game.
Right.
Hi, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, this man cannot be quiet.
No.
And his goofy evil giggle is a goofy evil giggle. Like, it's not just something we're putting... Yeah, it's like...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
so
really
stupid.
weird.
Then this black ninja goes after Frank. He cuts Frank's arm with his sword and then breaks that same arm. Frank gets away and sees Marianne tied to a tree in the middle of the courtyard. As he runs toward her, Hasegawa hits him in the back of the leg with a throwing star. The ninja catches up to Frank and slits his throat right in front of a gagged Marianne.
That was a pretty sad scene. I
Yeah.
mean, like, that was a pretty well done scene, the way it was put together.
Right.
Logistically, it made more sense than a lot of scenes in this movie.
Right.
But I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
One other bright spot, I think it was kind of highlighted here, I think. The score in this movie is really good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
The music, I think, is really good for what it does. Like, I think it's designed to kind of pull out emotions at certain times, and in this scene, I thought it worked. So it works so well that I think they would use some of it again in Ninja 3: The Domination. So
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
Save pennies where you can. At Veneris' office, the head honcho returns with Parker in tow to find his guards piled up in an elevator.
Half naked.
Half naked, yeah. Meanwhile, Hasegawa is burning the workers' quarters at the plantation. Cole returns to a suspiciously quiet estate. As some vaguely Friday the 13th-ish score plays, Cole finds Frank floating in the pool, deader than disco. Cole has a flashback to the end of the war in Angola, and then he runs to the workers' area screaming for Marianne.
Marianne!
The next morning, Cole is taking his time doing a ninja ritual next to a fire and getting his mask on. No reason to hurry, I suppose. Then the white ninja is at Veneris' building, sneaking around the halls in broad daylight, chopping dudes and throwing darts and stars.
Okay. Now, okay, so there are a couple things here. Again, Revenge of the Ninja. Even worse about this.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, it's morning. Watching the sun come up. I'm going to put my white ninja shit on. I'm going to sit here and do the praying thing with my hands. I got to go through the 9 levels of power. And I built a fire.
Yeah.
You know, because I got to do that. Got to cook my sausages somewhere.
Right.
All the servants are gone, you know. I mean, I don't understand the concept of time in these movies. Like, the time is just, I don't know. It's disjointed. It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
The other thing is, once he's in Veneris' office, he hits a guard with a shuriken.
Mm-hmm.
And the guard's rifle goes off. And he comes down to the end of the hall, and he looks around the corner, and we find that hall empties into the pool room. And there are all these people. The staff is sitting there working, and all the women are in the pool kind of talking it out and figuring out what's going on, talking about synchronized swimming or whatever. And none of them react to the gun going off. Not one.
Yeah.
They don't react until he goes up the spiral staircase that we're going to talk about here in a second. He goes up the spiral staircase and he drops down. Then everybody's like, holy shit, there's a ninja here.
Yeah.
What? You didn't hear the rifle go off.
Right.
Right here in the corner of this room.
Right.
Oh.
And something else about this scene that was very, very simple, but it cracked me up for whatever reason. Something about seeing a ninja in an elevator. It's like the beginning of a joke. A ninja takes an elevator.
Yeah. Well, don't they show him kind of like standing there watching the numbers too a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just anticipating what's behind the door when it opens up, which is nothing. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that one lady who comes around the hallway was like, what the hell? It turns around and runs away, and he starts to run after her. He's like, oh, shit, I got to go kill guards.
Right.
Go ahead, lady. Go with God.
She's like, oh, shit, ninjas are real.
Yeah. That's a ninja in a white outfit. I thought they were supposed to be stealthy. Oh, well.
Cole heads up a spiral staircase and drops down into the pool area, scaring pretty much everyone away except for a gun-toting henchman. Cole stabs that dude in the gut and kicks him into the pool. Then Mr. Parker appears and tells Cole he's taking him to Venarius.
Pity he wasn't Japanese. He might have enjoyed his harakiri then. You didn't have to kill half our guards, you know. Mr. Venarius is expecting you. Come on. I'll take you to him. Interesting outfit. Who's your tailor?
We haven't really talked about this, so you're going to have to take this and then retroactively put it into the scenes as they play out in your mind.
Okay.
So Venarius' men, pretty much all these guys wear white suits, like white business suits.
Yeah.
With varying colors of shirts, sometimes blue, sometimes like Venarius himself wears a white suit with a black shirt and black tie at one point.
Basically, they all look like they work on Fantasy Island.
Yeah, they all look like they work on Fantasy Island. It's really weird. I just want to make sure we talk about that. I know it's a weird place to drop it in, but it reminded me like when he like killed Elliot here and kicked him into the pool. I'm just kind of like, oh man, that red's going to stain that dude's white suit. You know?
Yeah.
Not that he's dead, because in this movie, like human life is just so expendable in this movie that it's just kind of like, you know.
And I'll bet Venarius was pissed that someone soiled his pool too.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. I mean, that's going to take at least a week to clean out.
We're going to have to empty that thing out and scrub it real good. And oh, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. And who wants to like choreograph a synchronized swimming routine in a pool that's been sullied with Elliot's blood? Because that guy was like third tier henchman.
Probably got STDs and everything else.
Well, yeah. I mean, these guys, who knows where their dangles have been. Right?
Venarius stands in a small sports arena with a glass enclosed ring in the middle. Of course, he's surrounded by guards in white suits. Outside, Parker gets out of a car and goes inside to deliver a message to Venarius from Cole.
He leaves Cole the car. I can't get the visual in my head of Parker riding around the back of like a Mercedes or whatever with a ninja.
Yeah.
Like in full regalia, trying to like sit comfortably while his sword is hanging on his back.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like, oh, this is riding up on me a little bit here. I have a Shuriken, you know, hidden like in my crotch. I got to move a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
this time it was kind of realistic with all the weapons that he was carrying around compared to the scene at the beginning where I was asking, you know, where does he keep all of his weapons? This one, I mean, he's got an arsenal strapped to his back.
Yeah.
And, you know,
yeah.
So this made a lot more sense, but early in the movie, I'm just like, good Lord.
I thought it was funny when Parker gets out of the car and he talks to the guards. He's like, open the gate, you know, and they open the gate. And then Cole rolls down the window and looks at the guards. And it was kind of like, oh, he's going to beat the shit out of those dudes. Okay, awesome. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Where is he?
He's waiting outside in the car, sir. He killed Elliot and a couple of guards back at the office.
Why didn't he kill you?
Oh, he doesn't want me, sir. I've got a message for you.
Oh, really?
Yes. He says he'll kill you if you don't release the girl and leave her property alone.
Is that so? Well, bring him in to me, Mr. Parker. I am a reasonable man.
Sir.
Of course, when Parker gets back outside, Cole has murdered all the front gate guards because, you know, why wouldn't he?
Right.
Inside, Venarius calls out for him, but Cole answers with a dozen or so and probably plays smoke bombs that go off all around the arena, in the stands, in the ring, everywhere.
That is impossible.
Impossible.
The thing is that with these smoke bombs, they're not like bombs that are thrown either. You can tell that they're stationary.
Yeah.
And they flare up.
Yeah.
So it's just
they're
absolutely,
practically fireworks.
Yeah, it's impossible.
No. The guards scatter to find Cole as Venarius screams.
Well, don't just stand there! Fight him! Mr. Parker! Bring me that woman! And where the hell is our ninja? Sir!
Mr. Parker! Even as a kid, that line made me laugh.
Yeah.
Where the hell is our ninja?
I like how he's just yelling around. Ninja?
Ninja?
Ninja.
Ninja.
Where you at, Ninja?
Yeah. Oh, God. Christopher George is hysterical in this movie.
He is.
I love him so much. He was such a cool actor.
Yeah. Then we get a series of scenes with Cole taking out guards in a variety of ways, breaking necks, stabbing, throwing spiky barbed jacks in a guy's face, using a blowgun on a Bee Gees-looking goon, and that was following him earlier in the movie. He's running the gamut of ninja trickery here.
I love the shot through the slatted wall.
Yeah.
When he walks, that's a nod to Enter the Dragon, because in Enter the Dragon, there's this mirror scene towards the end where at one point Bruce Lee is walking and all these mirrors are thin slats, so it kind of looks like he's walking and you're kind of looking at him through like a weird reflection. So I think that was kind of a nod to that, but I'm like, it stands to reason that it's like a wood slatted wall.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really land the way that the image at Enter the Dragon landed. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much a Canon Group special.
Yeah.
You know?
Cole finally takes out the guards right around Venarius, and the big boss screams for Mr. Parker and his black ninja. Parker emerges holding a gun to Marianne's head.
Ninja! I've got the girl! I'll shoot her if you don't show yourself now!
Just one moment, Mr. Parker. Ninja? Listen, I really do want to talk to you. And I don't want to kill the girl.
Cole shoots an arrow through Parker's wrist, and Marianne escapes.
Don't let her go!
I think I've been hurt, sir.
Marianne scurries down some stairs, only to be caught by Hasegawa. Cole throws a smoke bomb in front of Parker and then appears behind him, holding the wounded assistant hostage. He starts to negotiate with Venarius, but the head honcho pulls out a gun and shoots Parker. Cold-blooded.
That was... I love that.
Yeah.
I just thought, what makes you think I want him alive? Boom. Awesome.
That was good.
Awesome.
Yeah. Cole retreats up behind a wall, and Venarius tries to talk him into coming to work for him, but Cole refuses and says he's going to kill him. So the big boss takes a couple more shots before Cole zips a throwing star right into his heart.
Venarius' slow-mo, ugly cry death scene is hysterical.
Yeah.
He kind of shrugs on the way down like guy's got to try. Boom. I love when he takes the shots at Cole, too. Like, it hits that quote-unquote brick wall, but it's like cardboard.
Yeah.
So you can see it. It's just
right
like
away.
Yeah.
It's like, brick doesn't do that when you shoot it.
Yeah. Oh, man. Christopher George was the MVP of this movie.
He was.
I loved him top to bottom.
Yeah. He was great.
Every time I see that he's in a movie, I get excited because I just think he's hysterical.
Yeah. Revisiting a comment I made earlier in the movie about how Cole has certain people dead to rights in this movie. He had every opportunity in the world to kill Venarius before this point. As a matter of fact, Venarius is standing on this platform and he's got a guard on either side of him, and Cole takes out both of those guards.
Yeah.
When he could have just... what are the guards going to do if he kills Venarius? Are they going to continue to fight? Probably not. They'll probably just say, well, job's done, and take off.
There goes the guy who signs the checks.
Make life easier on yourself, man.
Yeah. Can you give me cab money? I just need cab fare.
Do you validate parking?
Yeah, right. You want to have a cockfight? This dude's dead. We got a ring right here.
We got a ring. It's a good-sized ring, too. These birds could go all day. Cole gazes around the arena and calls out for Marianne before hearing Hasegawa yell his name.
Oh!
Hasegawa.
The Black Ninja and Marianne are in the ring. Hasegawa frees her and Cole tells her to go home. She walks around the upper deck of the arena as Cole and Hasegawa get down to business in the ring. After some hand symbols and ninja prayer, they take up their weapons and approach each other. Kasugi looks like he was taking a shit while he's doing these hand gestures.
He was straining hard.
He
man.
was straining hard.
He's trying to make sure that gets up to Ninja God or whatever.
I guess so.
That's so. I mean, like if there are ninjas listening, if there's a ninja listening, I'm sorry. I don't know who the ninja pray to.
Right.
Is it Baby Yoda?
It probably is Baby Yoda. He's everywhere.
I gotta say, I hate Baby Yoda.
I do too.
Oh,
I do. Hasegawa has a spear and Cole has a sword. Lots of acrobatics and sword play. At one point, Cole throws powder in Hasegawa's eyes, temporarily blinding him. In the go-home stretch, Hasegawa flips Cole's sword from his hand and tries to drive his spear into the white ninja, but Cole catches the blade between his hands.
Oh, that looks so painful, dude.
I know.
Oh.
Yeah. They struggle for a couple of moments before Cole falls back and monkey flips Hasegawa onto the dirt. Cole then flips the spear right into the black ninja's gut. Cole stands and takes off his mask. Hasegawa asks to die with honor.
You have won with honor. Allow me to die with honor. Cut
So Cole decapitates him in the middle of the ring. Then he dejectedly drops his sword and walks away.
Now, I gotta say, I liked this fight scene. I thought that it was good.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it was short.
Mm-hmm.
I remember in middle school, I had the science teacher who would teach martial arts classes after school. And he would talk about Chuck Norris movies. And he would say, Chuck Norris movies, the one thing I like about his movies is that most of the time, the fights are very short, which is what a fight is usually like in real life. It's very short. In Revenge of the Ninja, we're going to see that this is not the case in a movie that's not based on anything approaching reality.
Yeah.
As if this movie was like a documentary or something. But I do like that this match was short. I like the honor-based aspect of the ending.
Yeah.
I thought the score was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought there were a couple of good spots. You know, there were some times that they were flipping around and I'm kind of like, okay, a jumping sword strike when the other guy is also jumping. What are we hoping to accomplish here?
Right.
But that's also kind of another kung fu movie thing where people do jumping kicks and they pass each other. It happens in Enter the Dragon, actually, again.
Yeah.
Where Han and Lee, like they pass each other, but in that one, I think Han slashes Lee's gut with a claw, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so when Lee comes down, he sees it, he tastes his own blood, and that just makes him mad. Everybody knows that. Han, what are you doing? But you know, there were little things like that was kind of like, yeah, okay, that's part of the transaction in a kung fu movie. But for the most part, I thought this was a good fight. Like the powder, I thought was a good touch. You know, it was good.
Yeah.
You know, it was.
I had no problem with it.
This is one of those fight scenes that when I was a kid, I would rewind the tape endlessly and watch it over and over again.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't have a lot to do when I was a kid. So, you know.
Yeah.
One very popular, love donuts. What can you do while eating donuts? Watch kung fu movies.
Yeah. The next day, Cole is leaving the plantation and Dollars is there to pick him up. Cole wants Marianne to go with him, but she says she has to stay because she owes it to Frank.
Because he loved the place so much.
Yeah, and she cheated on him. She asks if he'll write, and he says he'll be back. But we know that ain't true. He will not be back for a sequel. At the airport, Dollars asks who Cole is going to kill next, but Cole says that a true ninja never kills. He eliminates. Way to equivocate, my man. The porter comes to take Cole's duffel bag, and lo and behold, it's Siegfried, Mr. Hook. When Siegfried sees Cole, he waddles away as Cole tells Dollars that there are exceptions to his kill rule. He then gives his best Marlboro Man smile and winks directly into the camera as the credits roll.
Oh, my God.
I was like, we really have to do a fourth wall thing. But they did do the sad trombone earlier, so I guess you kind of have to hit that one as well.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Wow.
I'm shocked this didn't win an Oscar. I just
for what?
I mean,
best sound editing.
I don't know.
They
don't give. You know what? They don't give stuntman Oscars. They don't give stunt coordinator Oscars. Stuntman, stunt women.
Yeah,
those people should get Oscars. They would have gotten him for this.
Except the guy who missed the kick in the opening credits.
Well, yeah, but that guy was supposed to be acting in the movies, so technically, I don't know. Hey, look, surprisingly enough, this movie doesn't hold up. What do you want me to say?
You don't say.
What do you want me to say? Logistical errors, errors in like just
continuity.
Yeah, you know, I can't.
Continuity was not a priority in this movie.
It wasn't.
No.
And you know what? I'll watch it again. That's the thing that's so sad is that I've seen this movie probably 30 times.
Yeah.
And I'll see it again.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem saying that.
Yeah.
I just will. You know?
Right.
It's comfort food.
Yeah.
You know, it's comfort food. And
yeah,
Christopher George is great in it. I think Susan George is really great in it.
Yeah.
For what she's, again, hey, look, we're talking about these movies from the 60s and 70s, 80s. These women are not given a lot to do.
Right.
And what they are given to do is patronizing and bullshit. But I do like that Susan George, when the table lamp explodes in the dining room scene with her and Frank, she just grabs a shotgun and walks out and says, "What's up?"
Right.
You know, but then she gets disarmed. I would have liked to see her maybe take a chunk out of Hasegawa or something. But
yeah. And Franco Nero really does have a good screen presence. I mean, he may not be the greatest actor, but he's a lot like Keanu Reeves in that respect, where he's not a good actor, but he does have a good screen presence.
Yeah, I mean, I think he does pretty well in the martial arts scenes.
Yeah.
When he's not masked, and you know that it's at least some of it is him.
Honestly, I thought he probably was a martial arts guy, you know, at the beginning at least. Knowing that definitely wasn't him under the ninja mask for most of the movie.
Yeah.
But some of the fight scenes where he's actually, you can tell it's him, I thought he did pretty well.
Yeah.
And I thought he was believable.
Right. I think there was also a lot of creative editing in those scenes too. So there was some of it that was Mike Stone or whoever. Because, you know, I think there's like the scene where he fights in the bar with the Hook and the Ginger Goon and all the other heavies. I think there were a couple times where it seemed like Franco Nero grew like an inch or two. You know, so like a stunt
Nero
man.
has a receding hairline too, and his stunt double did not.
Yeah, right.
His stunt double had bangs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Revenge of the Ninja has some of that too.
Great.
The thing about Revenge of the Ninja is it has everything that Enter the Ninja has, but blown out a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
So what do you think about remaking or just declaring this a Rembrandt?
I'm going to go ahead and make my declaration now.
Sure.
You know, to be fair, though, there are not a lot of good ninja movies out right now. I think the last ninja movie I recall that was really kind of cool and worth watching was Ninja Assassin.
Right.
That was cool.
Which also had Shokosugi in it.
Oh, yeah.
He was in that, and I think his son was in that.
That was as gory as any horror movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Man, that and the opening scene especially, like the first 5 minutes of the movie is just straight up disgusting gore.
Right.
And I loved it.
Right.
But that was a cool movie, though. But yeah, there are not enough ninja movies out there. They don't make them anymore. So I wouldn't be opposed to this being remade.
Right.
The story's been told a few times. I mean, this is pretty much Roadhouse.
Yeah.
But I'd just like to see it.
Yeah.
So, remake it. Why not?
Okay. Yeah. I would like to just see like a more realistic portrayal of a ninja.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like the closest that I've seen recently is, I think that movie Hero. I want to say Hero, but I don't know if it was that movie or not. There was a depiction of the ninja that I thought was really interesting because it was mystical without feeling completely impossible.
Yeah.
And I think the thing about this movie, and even more so in our next movie, is that they're not deft enough to ride the line between the mystical and the real.
Yeah.
They don't quite have that balance. So I think I would like to see that. I remember Batman Begins as an American movie. Basically the first 45 minutes or so of Batman Begins is about him becoming a ninja. That's what he is.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was pretty fascinating. You know, and you notice that the ninja that is called out early in the movie in Batman Begins, hanging there completely invisible pretty much in the shadows in the monastery, that guy was not wearing a red outfit. And he was not wearing a white outfit.
No.
You know? So, yeah, I mean, I think this movie could be remade. I think the story is pretty solid.
Yeah.
I think if you remake it, I would even just like heighten the empire building aspect of it, where you have basically the bad guy in this movie is the bad guy because he's rebelling against these two white guys fighting over land in Asia.
Yeah.
Now, granted, he's a mercenary for hire, right?
Yeah.
So that's a different thing, but I don't think they represent the Filipino people in this movie enough. You don't see those people and their opinions on these things. You just see these workers in Pee-wee, and they're loyal to the boss until shit gets too real and they leave, which who can blame them? But the thing is that I would have liked to hear those voices a bit more. And I think if you remade it, you could do that.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think it'd be cool if there was a blue ninja, and that ninja, before he fights, he just gets depressed and drops his weapons and walks away.
That's a long way to go for a joke, but okay.
That's the glory of editing.
Yeah. Well, who says you're going to edit this segment, bud? You know, that
wasn't a bad joke. I mean,
it wasn't
good.
It wasn't bad, but it was kind of like getting on the highway and driving to the next state to buy beer when you have a perfectly good liquor store right down the street. I don't know.
Well, you want to go watch Revenge of the Ninja now?
Sure.
Okay, we'll be back after intermission.
And now, intermission. Refreshment time.
2 minutes until showtime.
You see, the wife and I are swingers. And when we have a key party, we always buy Schlené. Nothing gets things lubed up like putting on side one of Santana's Abraxas and cracking open some Schlené. It goes perfect with our tuna pineapple surprise and Vienna sausage on a stick. Schlené beer. It lowers the inhibitions and brings about the sexual revolution.
90 seconds until showtime.
Coming soon to this drive-in theater.
Who could have imagined they were there? Who could have predicted they would attack? And now, who would survive? Your Honor, they're here.
No! You bitch! Stay back!
Your Honor, they're hungry.
What's the matter with you?
Your Honor, they're unstoppable.
Stop that! Hey, keep your hand out of the water.
What's wrong with the water?
The water is filled with carnivorous fish.
Your Honor, they call them the devilfish because wherever they go, hell waits below.
They breed like flies. There'll be no way to stop them.
Suddenly, no one is safe. And everyone must be warned. The water is now a human death trap.
2 people have been killed up there, and more have been killed all along the river.
You gotta believe it.
These are the man-eaters who go beyond the bite of all other jaws. Sharks come alone. Piranha come in thousands. Crazed by the scent of blood, they live by the taste of flesh. With razor teeth, they can strip a man to the bone in a frozen instant of terror. They're here. They're hungry. They'll eat you alive. Who can stop them?
It's showtime.
And now, please enjoy our feature presentation.
Our next feature follows a retired ninja who has to unseal his sword when he's betrayed by his white devil business partner. This is Revenge of the Ninja.
The Ninja. Born of a 400-year-old tradition. Trained in the most exquisite subtleties of combat. The ninja must be as wise as he is all-powerful. For if ever a ninja gives himself over to the dark side of his art, the destruction is terrifying and absolute. Revenge of the Ninja, starring martial arts master Sho Kosugi and his son Kane Kosugi, 6-year-old world karate champion. When he came to America, he put aside his weapons.
I will not follow the way of the ninja.
But he could not put aside his destiny as a warrior. And now, destiny has come searching for him. Two warriors. One in the service of evil. One bound by honor and vengeance, must fight to the death. Because only a ninja can kill a ninja. Revenge of the Ninja, the great martial arts explosion of the 80s, comes to America with full force.
We open on a wide shot of a pagoda in Tokyo. Then it dissolves to a tranquil scene, a Japanese minka home surrounded by a forest and a fairly large pond. Nearly everyone in the scene is dressed in traditional Japanese garb. A young mother stands on the deck of the home holding her new baby. She shows him off to another woman, and as we see another couple walking along a path in the forest. They are coming to see the newborn too. But as they come over the bridge and past some bushes, a ninja moves the bushes away and watches them. He's dressed all in black except for a red headband. Here we go again with the...
Gotta call it out.
With the flashiness. As the couple walk, we see more ninja all dressed alike behind other bushes and in the trees. The couple reaches the deck and we see a little boy is now there as well. We get closer as they fawn over the baby. They don't realize that there's a whole band of ninjas seemingly materializing from the forest. The assassins brandish spears, swords, and bows in an attack formation. The mother happens to glance out at the forest and see the killers. Then all hell breaks loose with the ninja murdering nearly everyone, including the young boy, which is shocking.
Yeah.
Before she is killed, though, the mother hides her newborn under a bush. The ninja gather on the deck and duck low as they hear Braden, played by Arthur Roberts, and Cho, played by Sho Kosugi, approaching. The two men talk as they walk along the path. The head ninja motions and all the assassins scatter.
I love how the head ninja, once he scatters all of them, he just like hops over the rail and kind of wanders around there in the open space for a second with his sword, kind of like, okay, wait, where are we all going? And then he disappears.
Right.
He like runs into the woods.
Yeah, no kidding.
Ugh.
Getting back to the kid that gets killed in the movie, he's probably 5 years old and he takes a shuriken to the right between the eyes.
Yeah.
And it looks very realistic and it's surprising. I mean, it's a movie from the 80s and they're killing a kid like that.
Yeah. I guess that from what I listened to the commentary, which should involve me getting some sort of stunt pay. It was really something. But they talked about how in the theaters, the censors made them cut out some of that stuff, that little bit of gore with the kid, where you actually see it. And there's another similar death later on with an adult. They made them cut that down, cut the gore down in that too. But then when it went to HBO and home video, that stuff was just left in. Like they just put it back in. But yeah, I saw this in the theater with my brother, and I remember I was probably, this was 84, so I was about 11, I think. This was 84. I remember being really shocked to see a little kid get killed,
Yeah.
right there. So, yeah, it was pretty shocking stuff.
Braden is a Caucasian, dressed in a suit but no tie, while Cho is Japanese in traditional dress. Braden is pitching a business idea to Cho.
Americans are going crazy over Japanese art now. I'll put all the money in and you run the place. There's no better expert than you. Look, we'll open the first gallery in Los Angeles, then Chicago, and later New York. And
I'm sorry, but I must stay in Japan. My father, my grandfather were killed fighting on this land.
You're going to wait here until the same thing happens to you? That's crazy.
Cho interrupts Braden when he senses something is amiss. He runs down the path to see the carnage left behind by the band of ninja. As Cho heads onto the deck, Braden pulls out a gun from his waistband. The art dealer's packing heat, son!
He sure is. He sure is.
Cho finds his older son's body with the shuriken star in his head. Cho pulls the star from the boy's head and casts it away. Then he sees his wife. He starts toward her, but then two ninja drop down and attack. They're armed with swords, but Cho takes them out. A third ninja leans over from the roof to attack, but Cho stabs him.
What was that guy's idea?
I don't know.
Doesn't lean over.
Go and get you.
Go and get you. Boo-hoo.
Then Cho rushes to his wife, Yoshi. He mourns her as shit becomes a little disjointed as the fighting action gets going. Two ninjas rise up over a rooftop, and Braden plugs them both with lead. Suddenly, Cho is on the path bridge, facing off against three ninja who are very slowly taking aim with their bows. Then they shoot one at a time. He catches all three arrows, one in each hand and the third with his teeth.
It's not like catching bullets with his teeth, but whatever.
Oh my, this was so dumb.
He does not have the power of the glow.
No.
Let's say that.
No, definitely not.
But, yeah. It's nice of them to take turns, though. I mean, it was very
Right.
considerate. They're like, okay, who's going? Okay, Chad, are you going first? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. You, okay, let's do Chad, then Brad, then Gary.
Gary. Another ninja rises up from the water or somewhere, and Cho stabs him with the arrow he's holding.
He like stabs him. He uses both arrows. He's like, stabs him with both arrows. He's still got the other one in his mouth.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Braden is using some slow and awkward martial arts moves against a ninja before killing the dude with his own sword. The ultimate disgrace.
The ultimate disgrace.
Then Cho is suddenly in a bamboo patch behind the house fighting three ninjas, including one genius who decides to do a plank hang from one of the bamboo trunks. The hell?
And Joe just like chops him down with his sword.
Yeah.
Dude's like, he grabs the bamboo trunk and he's just like hanging there, like perpendicular to the trunk.
This is one of probably 8,000 look what I can do moves in this movie.
Yeah, it is. It is. This movie is two things.
Yeah.
It is look what I can do and look at all these weapons that Shokosugi sells through catalogs. Like he actually did.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, all the weapons that are used in this movie were weapons that he, like, I think he had a company that made them, like a trading company, and they would always advertise in the black belt magazines and the kung fu magazines and everything. And, you know, like later on, we see the belt buckle that has the Shuriken star on it. That you could buy that. So it was. This was really like an hour and a half long infomercial for his weapons.
Surely you can buy the staff that comes into play late in the movie.
Oh, I would imagine.
God, I would hope so.
I would imagine.
We'll talk about that. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Finally, Cho faces off with a ninja who calls out three other ninja, and they all draw their swords and get down to business.
As they take turns. They take turns getting down to business.
That's right, they do.
they are like, ka-ching, okay, I'm going to hang out here.
Yeah.
Brad, you're next.
Yeah. I don't want to get in your way, pal. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
You do your thing, and I'll get in there, all right?
Were you? Oh, me. Okay.
After swordplay, a flip, and a needless smoke bomb, Cho prevails.
What was the... So Cho does a flip out of the crowd of ninja.
Yeah.
And he flips over their heads, and a smoke bomb just
goes off.
Yeah, it just goes off. It's like he farted a smoke bomb.
Yeah. I still maintain that thing went off by accident, and they just kept moving along, just like, well, you know.
Maybe, or maybe they had a plan for it, but they didn't have the coverage they need. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
It looked very purposeful though, because it was a very big plume. You know,
time is money. Golem didn't like to spend money, so
I guess.
Then we get quick shots of the devastation, including a ninja hanging by one leg from a tree. Grandma Osaki, played by Grace Oshida, stumbles onto the scene. Both she and Cho hear the baby crying, and Cho finds him. Grandma strokes Yoshi's hair and then pulls the pendant from her neck. It's a crane's head symbol that's like a family crest. Braden catches up with Cho and gives him and Grandma the hard sell.
Cho, you've got to leave Japan. This will never end here.
They killed my wife and my son.
And they'll be back. You can't fight the ninja forever. You have a son. You want him caught up in all this bloodshed? Come with me.
My son's place is here.
She shows Braden the pendant.
You see this? His father died on this land. And now, his wife. This soil is sacred with our family blood.
Do you want to see your son dead? And your grandson too? I'm offering him a great fortune in America, a new life. We'll open a gallery and you and your son can be safe in America. You can be happy again. And you, Mrs. Osaki, you should come too.
Grandma pulls Cho aside.
I do not trust this man, my son.
Braden is my friend. He means well. It's for his life. We must consider this offer.
You cannot escape your karma, my son. Even if you go as far as America, it will come for you. Believe me, it will.
Then we cut to a shot of Old Glory. It's 6 years later, and Cho obviously didn't take Grandma's advice. 6-year-old Kane Osaki, played by Kane Kosugi, the son of our hero.
What tipped you off to that?
I think you told me earlier when we were watching the movie.
Right, okay.
Yeah. 6-year-old Kane Osaki wanders out of the school. A little later, he's walking in the park with Grandma when a group of older middle school hoodlums come rocking up in the opposite direction and harass them. And Kane whips all their asses before Cho grabs him by the shoulder with a disapproving look. Cho gives Kane what for until Grandma tears Cho a new one, saying he should teach the kid how to be a trained assassin. A ninja, because that's the family way.
Yeah. This scene was great. The kid with the bandanas.
Yeah.
He had like a bandana on his head and a bandana tied around his thigh.
That's right.
There's something about bandanas in this movie because, you have the ninja with the headbands at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, Kathy's going to have like a decorative bandana that she was supposed to work out in. Of course, she wasn't wearing pants, so it's a whole thing. But there's something about headbands in these movies that are...
Yeah. It's too bad he didn't have them tied around his upper arms like the Ultimate Warrior.
I know. I couldn't figure out why he had it tied around. Maybe it was a tourniquet. Maybe he had already been in a fight earlier that day or something. He's trying to tie that blood off or something.
Then we see Cho and Kane in their home dojo. Well, is it their home dojo? It seems to be behind the gallery they're opening, but do they live there too?
See, I don't understand this because later on we see Grandma up in her room doing her little meditation or whatever.
Yeah.
When somebody tries to break into the gallery.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they must live there. I just never seen Cho like making Kane's lunch before he goes to school. To me, if you don't see a kitchen, then it's up for grabs as to whether they live there or not.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
anyway, these two are kneeling on a mat facing each other, and they're dressed to train. Cho shows Kane one of the dolls they'll be selling in the gallery. Then he takes up his sword and pulls off a black bag around it.
I have given up fighting. My sword is sealed forever. Here in America, I will not follow the way of the ninja. No more.
Why not, Daddy?
Because the way killed your mother. So, remember, you are not samurai, not ninja. We only practice with our sword to honor our tradition. Do you understand?
Kane nods.
Good. Then show me. Eye contact.
Kane draws his sword and performs a kata, which is a solo training routine. We've seen the kid in action, but his sword work takes the badassery to a whole new level. The boy can go.
Balance. Power.
While Kane is performing, Kathy, played by Ashley Ferrer, enters. She claps when Kane finishes and then gives him a Dodgers hat and some other stuff and sends him off to baseball practice. And we notice that she is wearing a gi top, but no bottoms, just pantyhose. I think that's all she was wearing was pantyhose.
It's unorthodox training gear.
Yeah.
It's almost like she's being exploited in a ninja movie or something. It's almost like somebody needs her to be half nude.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And she would be for most of the movie.
Yeah, she really would be.
Yeah.
Plus, it was interesting that she gave him his Dodgers hat, and I think what she gave him was like baseball cards.
Oh, yeah.
Which he had to have the baseball cards because then they would come into play later in a weird, awkward way that would then point. Oh, God. I love this movie. I do. I love it.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. As Kathy and Cho talk, we find out a few things. First, the dolls have cleared customs and they'll be there by noon. Second, Braden will be coming by later in the afternoon to see them. Third, Cho only pays her with martial arts training. Fourth, Cho points out that if she wants to train, she forgot her drawers, showing that he's really no-selling her romantic full-court press. Her drawers. Then she attacks, and they have a practice scuffle. Kathy ends up on the floor with Cho on top of her. She tries to touch his face and segue into different kind of training session, dirty sex, but Cho removes her hands and leaves her lying on the floor. Later, Braden shows up at the gallery in his jag with a date and a fur coat.
I love how they're supposed to be in L.A. And she's wearing a fur coat. There are a lot of coats in this movie.
Yeah.
And the thing is that on the commentary, they always say, well, I don't know that they ever said what city it is. Braden says in the first scene, we can go to Los Angeles and open a gallery and then move on to Chicago and where else. So obviously they're supposed to be in L.A., but they really shot this in Utah.
Yeah.
Because
so they're definitely not in Chicago.
Because pesky things in L.A. got in the way, like unions and safety regulations and permits and stuff. And Utah's kind of like, oh, man, we want the Cannon Group here. They really wanted the Cannon Group to start shooting movies in their state. So they just said, no regulations. Just move on in.
Well, I can't blame them. It's some high-quality shit.
It's amazing. I'm surprised it didn't win the Golden Globe for something. Best musical, probably.
Yeah. All this movie really needed was a musical number anyway.
That's true.
So, yeah.
That's true. Maybe a dance core, really what it needed was a synchronized swimming segment. I thought that's what we were going to get after we saw what we saw in Enter the Ninja, but hey, I guess not.
I guess not.
No reason to follow up on the good stuff from the first movie.
Yeah,
so.
we get all kinds of, what do you want to say, antics later in the movie anyway. So
There are some water antics later on. There are a few water things going on.
That's true, there is. As he and Cho discuss the dolls, Kathy gives Braden a sideways glance. Something's happening there.
Yes, sir.
He says hello to her, but she gives him the stink eye again. Cho turns on all the lights. The dolls are on lit pedestals, and there's the requisite 80s neon in the background. As these two dudes stroke each other's egos, Braden's date admires a ninja doll. She runs her finger along the blade of its sword and cuts herself. Uh-oh.
Omen.
Later, Kane is in the gallery and pulls a doll off its pedestal. It crashes to the floor and splits open to reveal a white powder. That ain't plaster, son. That's the junk.
That's the white horse.
The China white.
The fine China.
The Captain Jack.
The Freddy.
It's that damn heroin.
Heroin.
Kathy reprimands Kane for breaking the doll and sends him on his way. It'll be their secret. Later, Kathy is in Braden's office. She tells Braden about the broken doll, and he's pissed. He says the gallery setup is becoming too risky. Braden says he's seeing a gangster named Kaifano later, so he might be able to unload the smack by tonight.
Okay, so he says the gallery setup is becoming too risky. It just got started.
Yeah.
And how would they unload the Freddy from these dolls anyway?
Right.
I mean, do they have to break them all? I mean, this could be the worst smuggling plan ever devised. Either that or Braden just thinks that Cho is so stupid that he won't catch on when his gallery just gets ransacked every, 6 months or so.
Yeah.
He's like, I just can't keep these dolls in here, man.
Man, they're making a hell of a run on these dolls, aren't they?
Somebody wants these dolls, dude.
No idea they were such a commodity.
Yeah, we're going to have to charge more for them, I think. I don't know. I mean, I told them that it takes 2 months to make each one, but in reality, we make like 5 every day.
Yeah.
The thing is that this is indicative of the rest of the movie, story-wise.
Right.
None of it makes sense.
Yeah. Braden goes to see Kaifano, played by Mario Gallo. The old man is getting a massage from his brother, and number 2, Joe, played by John LaMotta, as he chastises his nephew Gino for primping in the mirror. Braden enters.
Dolls have arrived. They're ready for delivery.
Great. Have a drink. Joe, go mix him a drink.
I didn't come for a drink, Kafano. I want my money. I want you to take delivery immediately.
Okay, so what's the big rush?
The stuff is hot, Cafano. I need the money right now.
You're gonna have to wait on the money.
The deal was, I get the money the minute the dolls are here.
A few more days ain't gonna make no difference.
A big difference. I need that money right now. My Japanese connection wants their cut. I can't mess with those people.
Hey, I gave those guys 100 big ones up front.
They want the rest of the money today in cash. Now, what am I supposed to tell them?
How about, Bavangu? Capiche?
If you don't have the money, Cafano, I'll find somebody who does. And you can kiss your 100th thou goodbye. Tell your goons to move.
You tell us. Braden, you're dealing with me now. As far as you're concerned, that stuff was already paid for. It's mine. So don't try any funny stuff.
Don't fuck with the Japanese, Cafano. They can be very dangerous.
I'll fuck with whoever I want. I don't need you. I'll make my own deals.
If you're thinking of going behind my back, Cafano, you'll be making a big mistake. A very big mistake. You don't even know me yet.
Braden is in his office loading up a medium-sized case with weapons and a silver mask. He's wearing a black ninja outfit. The White Devil's a damn ninja. Okay, so for the sake of keeping shit easy, we're going to call Braden the Silver Ninja while he's in his ninja getup. And we'll call him Braden when he's not. Just remember, both names refer to that same sumbitch.
Right. Now, I have to say something here. I love my brother.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I would never let him give me a massage when I'm wearing only a towel.
And with a cigar in his mouth.
And with a cigar in his mouth. My brother stopped smoking cigars in the 6th grade. But I'm telling you, I saw that and I was just like, I love my brother, but no thanks.
No.
No, thank you. I just want to make sure I got that out.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure everything's clear here.
The next day we're in a park with Joe and his family as they eat at a picnic table. Joe gets up to take a leak in the park bathroom. As he's moaning and praying with relief at the urinal, the Silver Ninja emerges from the stall and taps Joe on the shoulder.
You never want that.
No, you don't want that at all. Then he beats the ever-loving ragu out of Joe, fracturing his femur and breaking his neck. Braden leaves the restroom in a business suit looking guilty as hell. Later, Caifano's limo pulls up in front of a skyscraper. He approaches a one-eyed bum next to a fountain. The bum gives him the word on the street. There's a shipment of H coming in from Japan.
A horse.
And the Japanese are trying to horn in on Caifano's territory.
What?
Yeah, the gangster tells the urchin to keep sniffing around and then has a henchman give him a tip.
Go
ahead.
Say it. How are the Japanese moving in Caifano's territory if he has a deal with the Japanese? This really doesn't make very much sense to me. He's all pissed off about the Japanese. I'm like, you just made a deal with them to bring Freddie into the United States, and not a dude named Freddie, like the white powder Freddie, the white horse, the fine giant. Like, what the hell's going on here? I'm so confused.
Oh, man. Not Grandpa's headache powder.
Yeah, right.
You don't want none of that.
Right.
Oh, God.
What's next? Bolivian marching powder? Come on.
We see the Silver Ninja's hands as he digs into the weapons case and comes up with 3 shuriken stars. As Caifano and his goons walk away, we hear a zip and then a bum takes a header into the fountain. His blood quickly clouds the water. The goons pull the bum out of the water, and sure enough, a shuriken and a good eye, buddy. The Silver Ninja enters Gino's house. Remember Gino, the primping nephew? Well, Gino's got some porn lying around, and he's in a huge jacuzzi tub in the bedroom with a young woman. They're doing water sports, dirty sex, when the Silver Ninja shoots a blow dart into Gino's spine, causing the young goon to collapse onto his date. Instant bruising, by the way, by that dart.
Perfect. Instant bruising.
Both are underwater, but she is trying to get her head above it. The Silver Ninja holds her down with his sword until she, too, is dead. Later, Lieutenant Dime, played by Virgil Fry, is outside Gino's house as he and his girlfriend are wheeled out under a sheet. Caifano pulls up, and he and Dime have a heart-to-heart.
My nephew?
And his girlfriend. You want to take a look?
What the hell for? Now, what's so goddamn important that you and me gotta have a talk, Lieutenant?
What's so important, asshole? Because they're dead. They've been drowned. Coroner said it's gonna take a jackhammer to get them apart.
He was a good-looking kid.
You talk to me, you son of a bitch. Now somebody's muscling you and I want to know who the fuck it is.
That's my bag of apples.
And mine.
Bullshit! You guys celebrate downtown every time one of us gets the clap. What the fuck do you want from me, Dime?
I want a name. I want addresses. I've got nothing.
And you got what I got. Shit.
At the police station, a detective introduces Dime to Dave Hatcher, played by former world karate champion Keith Vitale, after Hatcher beats up a few guys in a training demonstration. Dime shows Hatcher the x-rays of Joe's broken femur and shattered torso and asks who could do such a thing. Hatcher finally says that he has a friend who knows about such things. And wouldn't you know it, his buddy is Cho. Small world, huh?
Yeah.
We see Hatcher and Cho in Cho's dojo as they spar. Cho gets the better of Hatcher, but then Hatcher throws a leg kick after the fight is over.
Cheap shot.
Yeah, it was. Hatcher asks him to consult on the case as a personal favor. Cheap shots him, he falls to the mat. Hey, man, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Oh, sure, right after the cheap shot? Yeah, why not?
We're friends, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry about your hammy.
Yeah.
At the station, Cho names the shuriken for Lieutenant Dime, but then Hatcher does pretty much all the rest of the explanation himself. He brought Cho in there for nothing, really. Cho does explain that the blade of the shuriken is a precise length so that it can kill by going through the eye, but that's pretty much it.
That's perplexing.
It is.
Absolutely perplexing.
Here's my friend. He's an expert, but I'm not going to let him talk.
Well, the thing is, it's like, oh, I got a guy who knows about these things. And then he gets in there and he's like, and he knows the whole history like Hatcher does. He just like spurts it all out while Cho's sitting there going, sounds about right. Yes, you're explaining something from my home country, my culture, but please, by all means, white man, go ahead.
Yeah, and at one point, Dime asks him a question. He just shakes his head no.
Yeah, no.
Dime tries to convince Cho to help with the investigation, but Cho tries to beg off because of all the stuff he has to do for the gallery. Dime accidentally knocks his cup of coffee off the desk, and Cho catches it, liquid and all, and gently returns it to the desktop with a slight smile.
Now, the score there's like this big stab. It's like, woo.
Yeah.
Every time I catch something rolling off a table, I hear that score in my head. I'm like, I'm ninja. I'm lonely.
Yeah. Braden and Kathy are in his office. The bastard is shirtless and trying to trying to foist himself on her. The bastard's shirtless and trying to foist himself on Kathy.
Oh,
he's clad in only lingerie.
Help out. Hapafangu, copy.
The bastard is shirtless and trying to force himself on Kathy, who is clad in only lingerie. The phone rings and he leaves her to answer it. When he hears that it's Kaifano, Braden shoos Kathy out of the room. She grabs a robe and goes out into another room and listens in on another phone. Kaifano tells Braden to call the Japanese off of his family. He tries to set up a cash-on-delivery deal for the dolls with Braden, but it's a no-go. Braden tells the gangster to meet him at the gallery in 3 hours with the cash and to come alone. You know, the direction in these movies that nobody ever adheres to.
Right. I mean, it's useless to say it.
Right.
Plus, he gives him 3 hours.
Yeah. Turns out Kaifano has a couple of new goons in his office. Street toughs led by a Native American man named Chief, played by Don Shanks. Of course his name is Chief, because he's a Native American.
And he's like, oh, God, this is...
Also, he's got his hair tied in ponytails. And
This is the beginning of the Village People section of this movie. That is pretty offensive, honestly. I mean,
everyone's accounted for at some point. So,
yeah.
Kaifano sends them to the gallery right then to get the dolls. Back in Braden's office, a sumo servant, played by the former pro wrestler Professor Toru Tanaka-san, is loading up the silver ninja case. Braden takes the case and tells Sumo to keep an eye on Kathy and not let her leave the house. If she tries to leave, he knows what to do. Evil smiles all around. At the gallery, the chief and the street toughs are ransacking the joint when Cho comes back and they start a brawling. This turns into a very long sequence that involves Cho running along the top of parked cars to jump onto the top of the thug's van, getting inside and beating the shit out of them as said van careens down the city streets, causing all sorts of property damage. Eventually, the van crashes and he fights most of the thugs on the street, including the chief, who's packing 2 hatchets.
It's just...
Guy just pulls out 2 hatchets.
And they're big.
I'm assuming he's got a hollow leg or something, because God knows where they came from.
He must.
Yeah. But then one of the thugs gets into the van and drags Cho for a long stretch until he falls off and the thug gets away.
Now that thug who gets in the van, he limps and gets into the van.
Yeah.
Mind you, they've dropped this guy like about, 4 or 5 blocks away. And he's fallen out of the back of a van going at 55 60 miles an hour. And he gets up and limps for those blocks and gets into the back of the van and gets up front behind the driver's seat. And he reaches into the glove box, and what does he get?
A gun.
A gun.
Yeah.
They had a gun the whole time. Cho was in the van beating the shit out of these guys. For like, I don't know what, 4 or 5 city blocks.
Something.
And nobody thought, hey, we should get the heat that we got in the glove box and smoke this dude.
No
Like,
kidding.
never came up. And then he starts shooting at Cho, and Cho just does like the duck and cover and the roll and completely evades all the bullets.
Also, after being dragged for a couple of blocks, Cho's pants are ripped up, but he's just got long scratches on his leg. not the road rash or the layers of skin peeled off that he should have.
Yeah, it seems like it
received.
should have been like stripped to the bone.
Oh God, yeah, it's gross.
But stunt wise, it was an incredible sequence.
It was very
It
cool.
was just a really incredible sequence.
Yeah.
It was sped up a little bit when he's running along the tops of the cars before he jumps onto the top of the van.
Yeah.
But I thought that was kind of cool. Like, it was a cool idea,
Yeah.
It's kind of indicative of this whole movie.
Oh, yeah.
All these great stunts, and at the end, you're like, you had a gun the whole time. No kidding.
Every little dumb scene is indicative of this whole movie. Because this movie is dumb, son. It's dumb.
It's one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah, he loves it. And it's so stupid.
It's so dumb.
Oh, my God.
It's so dumb.
At Braden's, Kathy sneaks away and tries to call the gallery to warn Cho, but no one is there. Sumo catches her, and she's in trouble. Back at the gallery, Grandma is upstairs meditating as the Silver Ninja climbs onto the roof and breaks into the dojo. Grandma senses something and goes in to investigate. As the Silver Ninja roams around the empty gallery, Grandma grabs a nesting doll that turns out to be a chain weapon. She pulls the Silver Ninja off of his rope ladder as he's leaving, and they fight. Grandma does a couple of cartwheels and then drops a smoke bomb and disappears. But the Silver Ninja stabs through one of the wall panels and kills her. Kane returns to see his grandma murdered. He's running along the roof for some reason. The Silver Ninja takes off his mask to reveal himself as Braden for no apparent reason, and Kane sees him. Kane cuts the rope ladder with the Swiss Army knife, and the Silver Ninja has to hoof it up to the roof and give chase. Kane scurries under some ductwork and escapes.
There are a few things wrong with this sequence, much to your shock. Yeah,
just a few.
Just a couple things.
Yeah.
First off, where does Braden, a.k.a. the Silver Ninja, where does he think Cho is right now?
I don't know.
Because he shows up there in his full ninja garb to meet Kaifano and his thugs. So where does he think Cho is?
I don't know. And it makes me wonder if he planned on killing him when he went in there, too, if he was there,
I mean, I would think so, but that's totally unclear to me.
Yeah, as are many things in this movie.
Well, maybe Kathy told him, but there was nothing on screen. I mean, it's kind of a slippery slope, because if she tells him, then it sounds like she's moving the plot along. But if she doesn't tell him, we get the confusion that we have right now. So the other thing is, why is Kane coming home from baseball practice on the roof of the building?
Right.
I mean, is that just like, normal play for him?
Yeah. It's time to go home. I think I'll take the roofs this time.
Yeah, the roof is good. Maybe I can just sneak in and catch Kathy working out without pants again. And then there's no way that roof is the roof of the gallery / dojo.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the building from downstairs and then you look at that roof looks like it's in the middle of Brooklyn or wherever, or LA, I guess. But it's totally not. And later on when Kane runs away, you can tell he's not anywhere near this place. It drives me insane. And then on top of all that, Braden takes off his ninja mask.
Yeah.
Like, why? Just so Kane can see him. And then he says later on he says because Kane has seen him, he's got to kill him and Cho. Oh, you weren't planning on doing that before this.
Right.
Right? You thought that your buddy was just going to be like, oh, you smuggled in some horse and like dolls. No big deal, dude. We all like a little bit of Freddie here and there.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Where's this Freddie come from?
Huh?
Where's this Freddie come from?
Urban Dictionary, son. Look it up.
Oh, okay.
I'm from the streets, bitch.
I didn't know you were up with the current street lingos.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I try to keep on top of it as much as I can. Actually, I don't know any of it. I just like calling something the Freddy.
Yeah.
My one and only dog was named Fred.
Rest in peace, Fred.
Yeah. R.I.P., buddy.
Cho staggers back to the gallery, his clothes in bloody tatters. He finds his mother in the dojo and pulls the crane pendant from her neck. Speaking of the crane pendant, by the way.
Oh, no. I knew this was coming.
Oh, yeah. I can't let this go by. They made a logo sort of based on the crane pendant.
The pendant looks good.
The pendant looks good. It looks like a crane.
Nice.
It looks like a crane that's flying.
It's got a little jewel in the eye.
Yeah.
So it looks nice.
Yeah.
The pendant looks nice.
It's cool, yeah.
Yeah.
But the logo, they've got the crane flying upward.
Yeah.
And you can't even tell it's a crane. What it looks like is a set of spread butt cheeks. I'm not kidding. The crane's head would be the butthole.
It's true.
It's really It's really odd looking. It's really weird. It's like, why would anybody want that to be their logo?
It took me a while to get him back into the scene when he saw that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
come on downtown to Butthole Collectibles. Butthole Asian art.
Oh, man. Oh, I think the fact that they called it Cho's Oriental Art in this movie just drove me nuts. It's like, oh, man, really?
Had to be the white guy's idea.
It was a different time.
You're damn right it was.
Oh, God. It was still wrong.
Later, Dime shows up at the gallery and tells Cho that they'll find Kane. He asks Cho questions about the boy and then says he still needs Cho's help. Cho refuses.
Dime's like, we'll find your boy. Don't worry about that. Still need your help with this case I'm working on, though. I'm working an angle, and I'm going to need your help.
Right.
Cho's like, dude, my mom's in a box. My kid's nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
I got to go to the temple and dress up like a ninja here in a little bit.
Yeah.
I got shit going on. I don't have time to tell you what's happening.
At Braden's house, Sumo tries to rape Kathy, but the Silver Ninja shows up and kills him. I guess he didn't know what to do if she tried to escape after all, did he?
Yeah.
Asshole. The Silver Ninja pulls Kathy up from the bed and hypnotizes her to help him.
Kathy, the dolls are gone. Someone stole them from the gallery. I was double-crossed. Now listen, Kathy, little Kane saw me. Find him and bring him here to me.
No, not Kane. Not Joe, please.
Kathy, count with me. 5.
His eyes actually light up behind the mask as they count.
4. 3. 2. 1. Now go and get him.
Jesus Christ.
This was the scene that I thought, you know what? When we get here, Ryan's going to lose his shit.
Yeah.
This is where it all falls apart for him.
Not only is this guy a ninja, a white ninja, but he's magic.
Yeah, he's a magic white ninja.
He makes some more magic happen late in the movie. Oh my God, people.
Yeah, man. He's got some real magic.
We see shots of Kane wandering around in alleys and abandoned buildings. Then we're with Cho at the temple where he's meditating. Hatcher shows up and says he might know somebody who can tell them where Cho's dolls are, so Cho goes with him. Let me point out that the kid's running around. This is likely the next day because when Cho shows up to find his mother dead, he's all torn up from being dragged behind the truck. And now he's cleaned up. His mom's in a box in this temple and he's praying, and he still doesn't know where his kid's at.
Yeah.
Surely you want to have your kid with you when you say your final goodbyes to your mother.
Well, I would think that it would take a couple of days for that to happen anyway.
Right. So is the kid's just sleeping in the streets or?
Well, and they don't show a night scene either, which is confusing.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing in here that really indicates that a night has passed. So it kind of looks like all this happens in a single afternoon or something. It's really weird. Honestly, if they had included a night scene, it actually would have made things feel more tense.
Yeah.
You know, because we got this little kid on the street. But I guess you couldn't afford a night shoot.
Guess not.
That's why these ninja end up doing their thing in the middle of the afternoon later on. Good Lord. You know,
boy.
Can we do anything at night here?
Yeah.
Well, the gallery's dark. Okay, very well.
Hey, what's that climbing up the side of a skyscraper? Nothing?
Nothing. Forget it. Window washer.
Yeah. They go to a public park where a mohawked guy in a Japanese Rising Sun t-shirt, a biker, a guy with stereo headphones and a running outfit, and a cowboy are sitting on a picnic table.
Thus completing
YMCA.
Just exactly. Thus completing the Village People homage here. I know, so weird.
Cho asks him a question, and then he and Hatcher start fighting all of them. They brawl all over the playground and end up getting exactly zero information out of them about the case.
Nothing. Zilch.
Not a damn thing.
Nothing.
Oh my God. Kane eventually wanders back into the dojo where Kathy is just working out alone with pants this time.
That's an improvement.
She sees Kane and tries to make nice with him for a second, but then she admits she's there to kidnap him, and they fight. Kane ends up cornering her with a small spear, but then he gives up and drops it and walks away, and she grabs him and walks out with him under her arm like it's her own kid or something.
And he drops his baseball cards.
Yeah.
That's when he drops his baseball cards, is when she picks him up. So I don't know where they were the whole time, but that's when he drops them. But he walks away from her like he's disappointed, like, oh, I want to go play Atari 2600 now or whatever you played in 1984.
ColecoVision.
Yeah, ColecoVision, right.
Yeah.
In television. God, I don't know, dude. One thing I did like in this scene was the spear that he has at the end was a hidden spear, because almost every spear in this movie is hidden.
Right.
And it came from the trim of the banister. So he pulls the trim of the banister off, and you're thinking, wow, that kid is really strong.
Yeah.
He's like Hulk strong, pull off banister and use it to beat adult with. But then it turns out to be a spear, and you realize that it's like ninja trim.
Straight up ninja shit.
You know, what they should do is they should have like one of those home renovation shows, but it should be done by ninja. So that then you would have like weapons hidden everywhere. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't only a toilet, but if you push this button, it like throws up all of these swords that you can use from the tank or, you know.
Yeah. This stainless steel countertop will turn into ninja stars that you can remove and throw at any time.
Exactly. Exactly. This isn't just a blender, ladies and gentlemen. You know?
Yeah.
This detaches and you can throw it. And the blade is long enough to go through the eye, which is the gate to the soul or whatever.
These light bulbs will explode and turn into smoke bombs.
Yeah, exactly. Just in case you need to disappear and get away from the kids.
And sometimes they do it unexpectedly.
Just out of nowhere.
Just out of nowhere.
Don't fart too close to that light bulb. Don't do a flip too close to that light bulb.
That's right. Kathy and Kane are in Braden's office now. Braden's got a smaller henchman now called the Tattooed Torturer, played by Al Lai.
That's how he's credited.
Yeah. Al Lai. Oh, boy. Good Lord. I hope it's his real name and not just a pun. Al Lai. Oh, my God. He tells Tattoo to get rid of Kane and slaps Kathy when she tries to intervene. Braden calls Kaifano and tells the gangster that he's coming to get him. Then he loads the ninja case while Kathy watches. In his billiard room, Kaifano tells his boys to watch for Braden. They spread out with their guns and fat ties and shit. Cho and Hatcher come back to the dojo. Cho sees some baseball cards on the mat and says he thinks Kane has been there. Is that right?
Yeah. I fart smoke, but my son farts baseball cards.
Way to go, detective.
When he's nervous.
Yeah.
He drops baseball cards.
The phone rings and it's Kathy, and she gives Cho the lowdown. But while she's talking to him, Braden catches her and Tattoo takes her away. Cho tells Hatcher what's up and says this is no job for the police because...
Only a ninja can stop a ninja.
I gotta stop here before we go any further.
Okay.
Kathy tells Cho that Braden is a ninja.
Yeah.
Then Cho gets off the phone and he talks to Hatcher.
Mm-hmm.
And Hatcher says that it's not possible for Braden to be a ninja. And Cho says, and I am not shitting you here, my friends, Cho says that Braden spent 20 years in Japan and studied a certain type of ninjutsu. I mean, come on. He finds out that a ninja's been killing people all over the city. And he knows that his buddy's a ninja.
Yeah.
And he's not putting two and two together. They make this dude look like an idiot. They make him look like he is so upside down with his porcelain Barbies that he cannot figure out that his buddy, who is obviously a scumbag, that this dude, he can't figure out that this dude might be the ninja who's offing people in park bathrooms everywhere.
I mean, did he even stop to think to himself when Dime was telling him about the whole thing? Do I know any other ninjas in LA?
Yeah, how many ninjas do I know in LA? Now, there's me.
Yeah.
And then there's well, Bob's not a ninja anymore. He's not practicing since he lost that eye.
Yeah.
And then there's, well, Braden, but I love him.
Braden. I mean, we're business partners.
Well, the thing that's weird, too, is that, like, all this shit's going wrong in his life, and Kathy tells him, Braden's like, he's betrayed you or whatever, and he says, and he smiles really big. He's like, no, Braden's my friend. He ninjatized you too, man. He hypnotized you too.
No shit. His magic knows no bounds.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. And that's not even the dumbest thing in this movie. And I love this movie.
Oh,
I love this
batten
movie.
down the hatches, folks. It's coming. It's coming.
I love this movie so much.
Kathy wakes up tied up in a hot tub, and the silver ninja is standing over her laughing.
Ha, 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 ha.
Old Silver has to kill both Kane and Cho because Kane has seen his face. He turns on some jets, and they spray water in Kathy's face from a couple different angles. Then he opens a sauna door and laughs maniacally at Kane, who is tied up in there and sweating profusely.
For some reason.
Yeah, for some reason.
I mean, like, what? I have to kill Kane, but I will keep him in the sauna tied up for a while.
Just kill them both. You got them there together.
It makes no. I mean,
they can't do anything.
I do not want to see a woman and a child killed.
Yeah.
I don't want. All I'm saying is that for story purposes, it'll
happen. Oh, it's gonna happen. Then we're into the ninja ritual portion of the movie as Cho pushes a button on his dojo wall and a panel opens and a trunk slides out to reveal his ninja weapon stash, including smoke.
With a lit up bottom. Yeah, it's got smoke coming out of it and the bottom's all lit up and stuff. And you can tell, and they actually said this on the commentary, but you can tell when that thing comes out that there's a dude back there pushing it and he's pulling up the lid and everything. Like, none of it's automatic, but it has this sound behind it that's like, like it's supposed to all be automatic.
That's so dumb.
Oh, God.
Then he goes to the temple and does all of his ritual stuff, including putting on his mask, and then yells very loudly as he kicks up a wind in the chapel.
Okay. His kid's been kidnapped, and he takes the time to get his shit out of the trunk, pack it up in his car, and go to the temple and lay it all out there and then put it on. It's almost like he's getting ready for wedding pictures instead of trying to go save his only son. His son's the only family he has left.
And this isn't a quick prayer either. It's not like, rub-a-dub-dub, thanks for the grub, amen. No. This thing takes some time.
Ever.
And some hand gestures and bowing.
All these weapons, of course, he is a ninja, so maybe it did only take one trip to the car. But for me, all these weapons would have taken at least 3 trips to load into the car and then 3 trips to unload at the temple. Yeah. Unless maybe he got some of the monks there to help out.
Right.
I mean, and then to lay them all out. I mean, these are all laid out on this like blanket or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're laid out very meticulously. And he's got 2 banners hanging behind him, which are inexplicable. They weren't there before.
No. Must have hung him. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. He's got time, apparently.
I would like to watch this movie sitting next to a real ninja. Of course, I wouldn't necessarily know if he's there or not. But it would be nice then to afterwards, once they turn the lights on, ask him, look, don't hypnotize me, okay? Just give me a second. How much of that was real?
You would know he's there, though, if he's wearing a white or a red outfit, though.
That's true.
Yeah?
That's true. If he's wearing white, then the jig's up.
At Kaifano's, the Silver Ninja evades the front door guards by shooting in a zip line from an adjacent building. He crashes through the window and into the building, and the fun starts. He tries to pick a random lock in a hallway, and a guard catches him. He drops some barb jacks on the floor and then some silver balls as the guard runs up on him. The guard slips and does a faceplant right into the barbs.
Now, I want to say really fast, from here on out, things are going to sound really disjointed, and you're going to think that we've missed a whole bunch, when in reality, we haven't missed a single thing.
No, it's all here.
It's all here.
It's all here.
It's all in black and white.
Yep.
So
we wouldn't lead you astray. I mean, it's all here.
You're gonna think though that we both had strokes by the time this is over with.
These guys even know how to review a movie? Yes, we do.
I mean, he walks in and the first thing he does is just pick this random lock on a door, and then they never show if there's anything behind that door at all.
Yeah.
So I love his movie.
Oh my God. Cho shows up in full ninja regalia. He climbs up the side of the building using hand and foot claws.
In midday,
yeah.
Against a white building. It's like an off-white building.
He might as well have been like a Black Widow spider on a white wall.
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
He's in an all full black ninja outfit and a white building, and he's just climbing it.
Yeah. Oh boy. Meanwhile, the Silver Ninja is inside murdering guards one or two at a time. Back at the hot tub room, Tattoo is toying with Kathy. The jets are off and he pulls on her ropes to make her bob up and down in the water as Kane struggles with binding on his wrists and feet. Cho gets into the building and evades the guards running around as, on another floor, Kaifano locks and loads an M16 readying for battle. Hatcher tries to come through the front door, but Kaifano's men block his way. Big mistake. He whips 4 armed dudes and waltzes inside. Cho has an altercation with guards in a stairwell where he spits metal barbs into the face of one and stabs the other.
Oh, it's just so bad. It's a neat trick, but it makes zero sense.
He's got a wrap around his mouth so that you can't see his face. So has he been fighting this entire time with barbs in his mouth?
I don't know.
Sharp metal barbs.
Yeah, and they're
razor
big.
Sharp.
Yeah, and they're big. It's just ridiculous.
Oh my God.
And I guess that like the stunt coordinator, Steve Lambert, said, Shokosugi would show up with all these great ideas every day, and this was one of them, that he'd spit the barbs. I'm like, it's a great idea, but it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That's
a hell of a visual,
There's a certain bar here that we have visual greatness versus the sense bar.
Yeah.
And I know that we've been kind of like blowing past the sense bar a lot in this movie, but if we could maybe mitigate a little bit. And the guy that he kills with his sword in the stairwell here, the guy has a gun, and he pops the guy's gun hand up, and the guy just holds his hand in the air still while Cho flips his sword around a couple of times before stabbing him with it. It's just like, I love this movie so much. I do. I love this movie. The thing about it is that like it's a botch fest of a movie.
Oh God,
but
yeah.
Every time I watch it, I see a new botch. That's the thing that I think I love about it. Is that not that I am saying, oh, these guys are terrible filmmakers. Golan changed this. I mean, because I guess that the original cut of this movie was over 2 hours, and there was a lot more philosophical stuff in it. And Golan was like, nah, we got to add the little beginning part, and we got to cut this down, So I guess,
Let's put it like this.
Okay.
Only wrestling fans are going to get this. But if this movie were a wrestling match, it would be a David Flair match.
Yeah. It's like a David Flair versus Kane. Because you got to have the supernatural element in there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So yeah, it's terrible. It's just terrible.
Yeah.
Hatcher
is climbing a stairwell because everybody's in a stairwell right now.
Everybody's just in a stairwell.
Back at the hot tub room, Tattoo's still being an asshole and playing with nunchucks. Kane burns off his wrist ropes over the sauna coals.
Of course he does.
Yeah, because 6-year-olds can do that. Then he gets out and beats the shit out of Tattoo with the nunchucks as he unties Kathy's ropes. Tattoo finally takes a header into the hot tub, and Kathy and Kane go and call the cops.
And she somehow knows the entire phone number to the local precinct.
Mm-hmm.
But then when they answer, she's like, hello, police? You just dialed the whole phone number.
Yeah.
Who did you think you were going to get?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It should have been a rotary phone, just so we can stretch that out longer.
Yeah. Yeah.
God.
As Kane's standing there staring at her wet T-shirt.
That's. We should point out too that while she's in the hot tub, she's wearing a white see-through tank top, of course.
Yeah, great.
And then afterwards, while she's calling the cops, she's wearing that tank top. You can see her nipples directly through it, and the boy's standing there staring at her chest.
Her chest.
Just staring at it.
I mean, they claim that he wasn't, but the way they shoot him from the back of the head, so it looks like he's just like staring straight at her chest while she's dialed.
Yeah.
And then she finally puts the robe on, because she's just in this tank top and underwear.
Right.
Which, again, it's almost like she's in an exploitative movie. It's really weird.
It is bizarre, isn't it?
Then she puts the robe on. She's like, you little pervert. She doesn't say that, but we're all thinking it.
Right. Meanwhile, the Silver Ninja opens a panel into the drop ceiling outside Kaifano's lair and spikes a couple of guards in the eyes with penknives.
These two dudes have semi-automatic weapons.
Yeah.
And they sit there and watch him as he leans out and like flips these little penknives around a few times, and they're like, oh, okay, in the eye.
Must have been another hypnosis trick.
Well, oh my God.
Surprised his eyes didn't light up when he did it. Kaifano hears their screams from inside and tells his young goon to check it out. The goon opens the door and gets a hatchet in the head.
Everybody's got a hatchet.
Yeah, they do. Then Kaifano sprays bullets everywhere before getting a knife through the palm.
And he doesn't die.
No.
We see the Silver Ninja going out another door that is obviously not even the same door.
Yeah.
That it's not even in the same area of the building. It's probably honestly not even in the same building. The decor is so different. And he's got this evil laugh,
Yeah.
But he doesn't actually do what he came to do. He said he was coming to get Kaifano. He didn't say he was coming to hurt Kaifano's check writing hand.
Yeah. He's coming to kill him, so yeah.
Yeah. And then there are the two old ladies in Kaifano's room, which we do actually see them in the billiard scene. They're like over in the corner.
Yeah.
But who are they? They look like two older women from the Waltons or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, get behind the bar. And he starts spraying bullets everywhere. And then somehow he gets a knife from the side of his hand that's not even facing the door.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
That's it.
We never see him again.
Nope.
So, I don't know. Maybe the Silver Ninja had some ninja poo on that blade and it's going to give him like some sort of butt disease.
Maybe he's hoping he'll die of tetanus or something.
So bizarre.
Hatcher comes across some dead guards in the stairwell. He goes out into the hall and nearly gets clotheslined by the Silver Ninja. They have a tussle and the Silver Ninja stabs him. As the Silver One walks away, Hatcher fires a couple of shots at him. He's a cop, misses every time. But the ninja zips him with the shuriken. Cho sees this and locks eyes with the Silver Ninja before hearing Hatcher's last words.
Which were as tortured as the rest of his performance. Someday, Keith Vitale will be a real-life boy, ladies and gentlemen. Not in this movie.
Oh, he is a wooden doll all the way through, isn't he?
Oh, man. There was like one scene with him and Cho, and I told you, I was just like, well, Keith Vitale's eyes didn't show up to work today, but the rest of his body did.
Yeah.
Like, his eyes were just dead.
Oh, man.
For the majority
Vacancy
of the season.
signs.
And the thing about it, too, was that he starred in a few more of these. Like, I think he was in No Retreat, No Surrender.
Of course he was.
He was in maybe one of the American Ninja movies. He was in a few more movies, and they were just like, he's got the look. And I was like, what? Dead in the eyes? Like, what?
Yeah. Maybe Jim Cotta?
Yeah. Completely vacant. He wasn't the main guy in Jim Cotta. Now, I'll tell you what. I will fight for Jim Cotta because that is such a weird movie that I love it.
Well, yeah.
It's just so bizarre.
It's gymnastics and kung fu or karate or whatever.
But like he goes to it kind of has the St. Anthony's Fire thing where he's in this place where all these people go insane and it's like a mountain village. And some of the images he sees in that are just, now we got to talk about Jim Cotta.
All right.
You just open the gate, son.
All right.
I want to see the monk with the crazy mask on the back of his head and no back to his robe. You just see his monk butt.
Maybe someday we could do Ninja 3 and Jim Cotta.
Oh, that's perfect. Next week on the All Night Drive.
No, I can't do this 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, man, you stepped in it now, bud. Oh, wow.
We'll do it. Luckily, we have the rest of this year planned out already. So,
maybe
next year, buddy.
I can move some stuff around for that.
And now it's big fight time. Cho and the Silver Ninja meet on a tennis court on the roof.
Of course,
and do their ninja praying thing before getting it on. After a little back and forth, the Silver Ninja drops some ninja smoke and disappears because, of course, he does.
Yeah, it's one of the few good uses of smoke in this movie.
Yeah, one of the few, and several are used. So
yeah.
What ensues is a game of cat and mouse all over the roof with little skirmishes here and there.
And those little skirmishes include some truly outlandish bullshit.
This is the sound of me rubbing my hands together in anticipation. Here we go.
Okay. So at one point they're going around and around. Basically, they're playing hide and seek here, and the Silver Ninja is getting the best of Cho.
Yeah.
At one point, the Silver Ninja's toying with him, and Cho backs up against this, like a ventilator box or something.
Right.
And the Silver Ninja reaches around and pulls Cho from behind, right? And Cho turns around and slices the Silver Ninja, except it is a life-sized mannequin that he slices in half.
That somehow grabbed him from behind.
Yeah. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a fiberglass type affair.
Yeah.
This is not something that's like a blow-up doll that he could have snuck in the butt of his ninja pants.
This is like a store mannequin.
It's a store mannequin.
Yeah.
And somehow it just ended up there. It's like ninja magic.
He can do a lot with them glowing eyes. It's not just hypnosis. This man can create moving mannequins.
He's making shit.
Creative.
And right after that, then there's the hot tub thing.
Yeah.
The roof has a tennis court and a hot tub.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not even close together at all.
And the hot tub is close to that ventilator.
It's all the stuff around it is ventilator
stuff. It
stuff.
makes no sense where it's placed. You'd think it would be in something a little more decorative. But
right. And the final fight takes place on a slab of concrete with a drain in the middle, which is lucky, as we'll find out. But Cho goes up on this poorly placed hot tub, which is running. Mm-hmm. It's just running up there, as you do. It's got some plants around it for a little bit of ambiance. Right next to a big, huge fan, but whatever. So Cho gets up on the hot tub, and the Silver Ninja's hand reaches out of the hot tub and grabs his leg. So Cho does what you do. He uses his scythe to chop it off, right?
Yeah.
Except that when he pulls it up, it is a robotic mannequin arm, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
A robotic mannequin arm. And then he continues and kind of starts to ignore the hot tub as he continues around it. But then the Silver Ninja really does jump up out of the hot tub and slashes his legs.
He sure does.
And then what follows is a useless throw of some ninja powder as they pass each other on a jump.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of cartwheels where they're both just doing cartwheels.
Yeah.
Like they just do cartwels.
Cartwheels.
All at once.
Back handsprings.
They just,
the whole bit.
They're just like, let's just hang on a second. Let's do this unsynchronized gymnastics thing. And then we're going to get right back to it.
Yeah.
But I got to get this out.
While the first movie had synchronized swimming, this has got gymnastics on rooftops. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, they need a little practice.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I mean, there are a couple of good things here.
Are there?
Well, I like the shot of what I think of as kind of like the Shogun shot, the shot of Cho's shadow as he's approaching this corner, because there's this one segment of this long sequence where they're kind of playing hide and seek around these corners, and Cho's shadow as he's approaching the first corner, and the POV shots as he approaches the corners I think are pretty good.
Yeah.
The score is great throughout this whole thing. I mean, throughout the entire movie. The one thing that I love that's hilarious is another good use of smoke. When the Silver Ninja drops smoke and turns around and stares directly at the camera and then ducks down like, hey. And
it looks like something out of Power Rangers.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
It's totally bizarre. But I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is we couldn't go through this whole sequence because it's so long. It's probably like a 10 or 15 minute thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a really long final fight versus like the Inner Ninja fight, which was a very short, probably much more in the way of realistic, probably more at the realistic end of the spectrum. This is not.
No.
This is like not even close.
I'm telling you, folks, this is the longest hour and a half of my life, and I work in retail.
Well, you know what? I forgot one of the most outlandish things of all. Well, I think we'll get to it.
Yeah.
I want to let you unveil that one.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
No, let me do it, please.
There are a couple left, but there's one that I think you should probably unveil, because when it happened, you were just like, oh, you've got to be kidding. So, I don't want to steal it all here.
Let me have it. Let me have
please.
It. Yeah. Kathy and Kane have arrived. For some bizarre reason, the cops just let them run into the building. Yeah. Crime scene and all.
Just going in.
Yeah, have at it. Only 2 trained assassins and the mob inside. No big deal.
No, just keep going.
Yeah. The Silver Ninja throws Cho off of the roof, but Cho has a small grapple line that saves him. Cho climbs back up, and the Silver Ninja is on a flat concrete platform. He challenges Cho to a final fight. They go back and forth. At one point, the Silver Ninja uses a small flamethrower from inside his sleeve. You've got to be shitting me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
but he fails to even set Cho on fire.
He doesn't even, he like makes him sweat a little.
Yeah.
He doesn't even like singe his clothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Oh dear. Give me a fan.
Oh.
That's about it. Finally, Cho stabs the Silver Ninja in the gut, and blood sprays everywhere.
Everywhere.
And you can see the tube that's shooting it out of his stomach.
You look really closely. It's shooting right out of there.
Oh, God. Before the Silver Ninja can fall, Cho slices up through the mask to reveal Braden's face as he falls and dies. That was a cool visual.
That was a nice visual.
That was quick and, nice.
It was really nice.
Cho removes his mask as Kane and Kathy come up on top of the roof. Cho hugs Kane and cries with joy. We go to a high helicopter shot of the rooftop as the credits roll over the snow-covered mountaintops of southern Los Angeles.
I know. Gotta go skiing up there.
Yeah.
We forgot to talk about the one weapon that you really wanted to talk about. I just remembered.
Oh, let's do it.
The staff.
Yes.
That you got to talk about that.
Okay, so there was up on this rooftop battle, there was a staff that comes into play.
Right.
And in the end comes off and there's a knife under that. And then the staff is unsheathed again and there's a sword inside of it.
Right.
And then what's left of the staff, there's another knife in there.
Yeah.
It's like the Russian doll of swords. It just little knives and swords that just come out of everywhere. I feel like I need one even though I don't need one.
It's a gift that keeps on giving.
It is though. And it's like, I loved it.
Can you imagine somebody handing you a stick, but then you find out that you have to shine 3 blades?
Yeah. And so tell me what you told me about that.
Well, okay. Shokasugi, like he made these weapons. And so all of these weapons that you see in this movie for the most part, I mean, except for the ninja mannequin and the robots.
And hopefully not the flamethrower.
Flamethrower, no. No, you had to make that one yourself.
Yeah.
The rest of the stuff, for the most part, was available in the backs of Kung Fu magazines or Black Belt or whatever. So, yeah, like this was pretty much a sales pitch, like a sales demonstration of this staff that had all these knives. I think you could buy this. I think I remember somebody saying you could buy this, but...
Buy all the weapons that you see in Revenge of the Ninja.
Hey, as an 11-year-old kid, I was down.
That was like candy, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I still have the throwing stars that I got when I was a kid. This is going to make me sound like I could have become a serial killer. But I actually made a diagram of a man on a piece of wood and put it at the end of the basketball court and threw the stars in it and tried to perfect my aim and stuff. Yeah.
Great.
So, yeah, I mean, you know, it was a different time.
It was okay for a kid to throw stars at a human target.
I mean, you know, you think about it, and everybody talks about the toys that we were selling with movies in the 80s after, like, post-Star Wars. But what they don't really talk about as much anymore is what we were selling from, like, ninja movies and what the Rambo movies did for the... I mean, I had a couple of different survival knives like Rambo did. I had a shoebox full of knives. Like, my brother would get them and then... you know, either give some to me or I would get them, somehow order them out of the back of a magazine or whatever. I had a couple of butterfly knives. The only thing that I never got that I always wanted was a switchblade.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But, I mean, as a kid, I had quite a few weapons in the house, really. Not guns, but other weapons.
Didn't you have the switchblade comb, though?
I did have the switchblade comb. Because I saw the kid. That's right. Exactly. Better off dead. Yeah. I actually considered being a paperboy for that very reason, just so I could say that to somebody. But yeah, and I had nunchucks. You know, I had a couple different pairs of nunchucks.
Yeah.
Me and a kid down the street made nunchucks at one point. I can't tell you how many times I've hit myself in the head with nunchucks, which explains about all you need to know about me.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, yeah. So what do you think, buddy? Remake or Rembrandt? Huh? I think it's a masterpiece, bud. I'm really shocked this didn't win the BAFTA. I was really pulling for it.
You know, I already said, hey, go ahead and remake Enter the Ninja, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to call this one a Rembrandt. But instead of a Rembrandt, I'm going to call it like a pre-K children's drawing. Because this movie's terrible.
We could call it like a Rembrandt postcard instead of like a real Rembrandt.
A reproduction of a reproduction. Yeah.
I think you could remake this. No, I really don't.
I kind of want to see Jet Li use a flamethrower like that, though. I want to see him raise his arm out and just like shoot fire like
as he laughs maniacally.
Yeah. Oh God, no.
You know something? I have to correct myself. I don't love this movie. I'm in love with this movie.
Oh, wow! You need to let go of that girl.
Hey, I'm telling you.
No,
I bought this movie on Blu-ray. I love it so much.
Oh Lord.
And I turned around and found a print and made patrons watch this movie at the drive-in with me.
You're part of the problem, you know that?
Yeah. Hey, look, it's not my fault that was the biggest refund weekend that we've ever had. I still don't understand how we ended up having to pay patrons $5 as they left that night.
I'm still trying to recoup from that.
That was unclear to me. But I'll tell you something. You should see this movie.
You kind of should. You kind of should. It's like watching an orphanage on fire. You don't want to see it, but you kind of have to, you know.
Hold on a minute.
Well, Trainwreck's been used. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but orphanage, man. Those kids don't have parents, man. Like, let's pick something else.
Okay.
It's like watching a Little Caesars burn down. I don't know. No, not Little Caesars. They might sponsor us one day. No, they won't. There's no way. It's obviously a Rembrandt.
It is.
It's perfect as it is. I can't even say that without laughing.
No, you can't, and you shouldn't. Thank you for joining us at the All Night Drive-In Picture Show. We hope you enjoyed our double feature this evening. You can follow us on social media at the All Night Drive-In Picture Show page on Facebook or at All Night Drive-In on Twitter and Instagram. If you have questions, comments, or movie requests, you can send them to our email address at allnightdriveинpictureshow@gmail.com. Join us next week for another fantastic double feature, and until then, we appreciate your patronage. Don't forget to hang up your speaker, and please drive carefully on your way out.
The All Night Drive-In Picture Show is edited and produced by Markham Harvey. Our theme song is composed and performed by Lee Rosevere and edited by The Night Watch. Our head ticket taker is Stubbs Jorgensen. Our snack bar manager is Lucy Slewfoot. Our sign master is Jason Baldwin. Our drive-in manager is the one and only George Jaike. I'm your announcer, Lane Hewitt. This has been a Clown Business Coalition production. Good night, everyone.